8:15. It's a cowlick and a high air. Gonna get you. Gonna get you. The cow licked me right there. She got me. She got me. She got me. Well, that's a horrible cow lick. I don't know which one's worse. Okay, it's 8:15. I'm gonna give everybody just a minute because when I turned around last night, I thought I'd gone through all the Temu. There were 3 tiny bags left. Well, not tiny, but there were 3 bags left. Tiny bags. Ashley! Ow, I had a knot in my hair. Look at my cowlick. Oh, I got cowlicks everywhere today. Look at this. Look at that one. Look at this one over here. Stick straight out. And then I got a big one right there when I went apart. I do not know what happened last night when I slept, but I think I got licked by a whole herd of cattle. And so I've been singing a song because David has made fun of everywhere I've tossed my hair today. There's been a cowlick. So I've been singing a song going, one way or another, they're going to get you. They're going to find you and get you. One way or another, they're going to lick you. They're going to lick you. Lick you. That's been the song I'm saying all day. Gypsy's butterfly, wound up butterfly, is trying to scare the crap out of me right now. I've got it wound up so I can show it to Mom when she comes up, and I opened the umbrella and it almost attacked. Okay, I've got it. Okay, so I wanted to craft today, but then I realized I'm still at the stage. I have on no makeup again. Sorry, y'all. But look how much better my eye is. I heal black eye so good. That's not a talent. Well, no, after all the cattle that headbutted me and all the time, it might be. But I went with David. I've realized now with my health that if I can do like one thing a day. Well, I went with David this morning. We were gone for quite a while. And then we had to go do a Walmart pickup, and I had to walk inside and get a big salad because they swear that there was nothing to substitute the salad I wanted on the list. And it was right there in the deli. Right there in the deli. So I had to use my little magic shoes to go to Walmart and get me some salad. That was lovely, by the way. Nobody offered to help me. It's my first really big trip into a store with those stupid things. Nobody offered to help me. And I even was just trying to get them in the cart so I could hang onto the cart. And I was struggling because I had a coat on and it was making it hard for the things on my arms to work properly. Nobody helped me. Pretty sure if I had been having a full grand mal seizure right there in the Walmart, they would just walked around me and been like, oh, well. Oh, well. And I thought, boy, aren't y'all lovely people. Just lovely people. But, I don't know. Now look at Emu. Okay, so we're going to have 5,000 different hairdos tonight because it's just, I used that hair mask last night from Temu, and let me tell you what, it's living its best life today, but it's annoying the far out of me. So this is what the hair mask from Temu, if y'all saw my hair last night, bless your heart if you did. This is what the hair mask from Temu does to my hair. Let me get it flipped so that maybe I've got a little, there we go. I've got a little bit of a part way going on. But I swear I went into Walmart with my little magic shoes and nobody wanted to help me. It was like, hello, I'm struggling. And I was even saying, can someone help me? Can you hold that buggy while I pull this buggy? Because they were all stuck together. And did anyone offer to hold the buggy while, or pull the buggy while I held the buggy, or do either? No. They just looked at me. So I proceeded to tell them all these useless as tits on a boar hog and rip the carts apart and put my canes in them and waddle off. And I thought, you useless people. So that was my sermon on the Mount of Walmart today. I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you live in this area and you did, you can send donations my way for my time. So, oh, Lord. Carson, how do you know I'm not single? I've been married for 21 years to the most awesome man that God ever made. And I don't like flirting either because I'm retired law enforcement. So you may stay, but you have to behave. Because I know you're blowing smoke at my butt because I'm a big old chunky heifer from Appalachia. So watch yourself. Okay, so the other night when I said we're done, I looked behind me and I still had 3 little Temu bags. And I still haven't shown y'all my wig I got the other day, but that's going to have to wait till a day when I can actually tame my hair. So hang on, let me tame my hair. I still have glasses up here somewhere. I didn't pack them all to my favorite glass place. I left some of them up here. Those might hold for a little while. I don't know, we'll see. Till I find a rubber band, and then it's going up in a button. But I thought, well, shoot, we should probably go through the rest of these. So let me make a trash bag. And I made one Temu short today. I did laundry and I went with David to check the Snare line. And I made that ginormously huge video that I had to edit. So it was my body's been like, lady, we're better, but we still can't do a whole lot. We'll just slow down. And so I was like, okay, let's slow down. Slow down meant apparently crash and burn again because I slept most of the afternoon. But I mean, I feel better every time I sleep like that. But dear Jesus, life is just passing me by. Okay, I saw this and it was super inexpensive. It was like $8. And last year on Torrid, I gave way more than $8 for something basically exactly like this. It was a black and white pattern instead of purple and black. It's just a bandeau bikini bra top with the foamies in it. I'm not necessarily a fan of the foamies, okay? Them little things. They're like those old lights on cars. One of them open, one of them won't. You never know where these foamies are going to end up. But anyway, I'm not a fan of the foamies. But ladies, some of y'all need them, so go ahead and use them. I'm just going to be in my backyard doing physical therapy. So anyway, this is just a bandeau top, and it looks like velvet. It looks like crushed velvet, but it's just the way the print is made. It's just purple leopard print, but it looks like crushed velvet. And then they had the bottoms, which have the my trash bag's gonna fall, which have the same effect, and they're not super cheeky, which I hate because when I'm doing all my physical therapy movements, the last thing I want to do is have to pick a wedgie. So better quality, much better quality than I thought they would be. And I would even say better quality than the Torrid one I bought last year that was black and white like this. So just saying. Samsonite, are you luggage? Okay, well, that sounds like a life decision that you besides me about. But I mean, if you can make a list of pros and cons and the pros outweigh the cons, I support you, Samsonite. Hey, my internet's been janky all day too, especially during the editing. It was horrible, so don't worry about it. Kung Fu. Ha! Beware my power. I will harm you. Ha ha. Did that work? Just wanting to know if that worked. Did it work? Okay, we'll see if Ashley can get back in here. Her internet was catching, so let's see if she can get back in here. I mean, I just missed a few things, but I still missed them. And then I got 2 more bags today, but one of them is something I ordered a long time ago. It's taken forever to cross the oceans to me. What are you? Oh, these are more of those ladies, I'm telling you. If you like to swim or mow the yard or just work outside and you want to tan, but you want your shorts to cover everything. These things that tie on the side, and you can bunch them up or bunch them down. These little shorts like this. These are the best little shorts. I'm here to tell you, and they're just, you can catch them on sale for $3 to $5, and they are well constructed. And I mean, and Sabrina asked the other night in the text, because we made a funny about one of the Fat Girl Bikinis straps I got was so pulley that I said that could double as a, I said that could double as a bowstring or a slingshot. And she said, she asked me what I was going to kill the slingshot. And I was like, squirrels. And so last night when I showed that other bathing suit, she asked me if the strings had a squirrel killing power. But those have some stretch now, so you can size down. But these are the best things. And I'm here to tell you, they stay where they're put. Okay? So you ain't going to show nothing that nobody don't want to see because they stay where they're put. And these little sides, if you have a hip that does better with it scrunched up, put it up. I leave it down like boy shorts and just tie it and go on. But I use these. I can dip in and out of the pool with that. Wear my little tops, do my physical therapy, throw on one of my sundresses. And I'm good to go while I pilfer around my seeds that I put out in my sunflowers in the summer until I go inside. And I'm dry off automatically. So let me see what else is in here. Okay, this is something I thought was really neat for you ladies that wear a lot of sundresses or a lot of things that require strapless bras, or you wear like the overhaul dresses, or lots of times I'll wear the muscle tees cut way down when I'm mowing. Don't judge me. I'm a big old heifer, but I like to get some sun. So I get these bandeau bras. And like I said again, I'm not a huge fan of the foamies, but on these, they seem to work just fine. And I got a 3-pack of these the other day for, I believe it was $8.92. And I love these. Like, these are my favorite summer bras. I love them. Buy size up, because as you wash and dry them, they will shrink just a tiny bit, which I don't mind, because they will stretch a little tiny bit as well. I got 3 colors. I got 3 of them. It was like $8.92. And I was like, heck for, yeah, that's about, it's less than $3 each. So I picked, they had 2 colors to pick from. There was a nude, a white, and a black, and a purple, a gray, and a pink. And since lots of times I wear my little overhauls with them, I get the colors so that people think they're a tank top. I'm cheating. Brady, why am I bullying people? Gosh, I don't know. I don't know. But it seems like a rhetorical question that you didn't really want to answer for the bullying too. Are you having a low neurosynaptic impulse day where you're trying to get your digs on others? Are you? I can tell you there are some mind-altering like exercises out there that you could do rather than go on the internet and irritate people. That's not near as fun, is it? No. You ran out of Kleenex and lotion, didn't you? And you came to bother me. Oh, Brady, I feel so... You really know how to make a girl feel. Bye-bye, Brady. I'm telling y'all, supervised murders for a decade. You ain't gonna say nothing I ain't heard before. I supervise murders and felons. You ain't gonna say nothing I ain't heard before. But that's like most of society. I'm sitting here showing you Timu, and why are you bullying people? It's to leave Britney alone all over again. But it's like there's no Britney. Everybody's Britney. Most of that is either like a chemical or hormonal imbalance and no frontal lobe development. So, master's in psychology, if you'd like to go and pass that along, get you some help there you go. Okay, I got me more of these weird nails, but these are like half clear, half green, and then half leopard spotty. I didn't know. I mean, they looked good on the model, but I looked at these 3 or 4 times before I bought them because they looked kind of weird. But the ones I put on are not lasting, mostly because I've done way too many dishes with them. But you know, we'll try them. We'll see what they look like. I'm not gonna call them and say they're a no go yet. Oh, just wait. If he'd been here in a minute, he would think I'm bullying people. Just wait. For y'all, all y'all that think I'm bullying people. Just wait. Just wait. I buy my own crap, spend my own money, and I got a drill bit. I got these are jewelry drills. This is your drill bit. Don't you fall, you big heifer. You're very, very, very delicately balanced on that. Hold on while I cuss my professional studio out. Why are you leaning so far? Okay, hang on. My phone is being a butthole. Oh, where'd we go? There we go. Don't you fall, you big heifer. Okay. Oh, now I'm crooked. I'm crooked. Cruella de Vil. Giraffe of the Sea. That's a new one on me. Hey, that's... Can't say none to that. Okay, so this is a jewelry drill. So you put one of these tiny bits in here. Oh, you're Team Circle now. Okay. You only have to do 4 orders a month to get your 1 free gift, and it's every week, just 4 orders, so don't go overboard. It kind of harnessed me back, to be quite honest, because I was like, I stopped playing the games a lot too. I hadn't finished all of my games in 4 or 5 nights. I did today though. Okay, so anyway, you put the bit in, and then you put it down, and it's kind of like a bracing bit. You hold here and you twist this, and it will drill legit. We may hold here and twist this. It will drill through any stone, anything that I want to make it turn into jewelry. Like I'm wanting to cut these antlers down and make earrings. Like tiny earrings, like that big, like earrings, and I can cut them down. Oh, I have to make David cut them down because my hands with my trimmer and a saw. But then I can put it in and I got a little clamp here somewhere coming in too. I got a little clamp coming in too, and I clamp it, and then I put my little drill in, and I drill straight down into that. And it's very easy to do. I'm not going to hurt myself because I do it all manually with this little booger right here. And I'm anxious to find out just exactly how this works because I watched somebody use it on YouTube and was like, dang it, I want it. And it was only like $4 with the bits. It was only like $4 with the bits. And I was like, excuse me? Well, yeah, I was going to cut them off right here to have the little tip and just make a little tip of an earring. And then I can literally go through any tooth, and I can epoxy resin my hook right smack down into it instead of having to do all the wire wrapping, which is, thank you for whoever hit the subs only mode because I cannot find that button. Appreciate you. But yeah, I can make a straight dangle necklace now instead of doing the wire wrapping because the wire wrapping, my hands are just, not that good. So, but look at this. They go so tiny. But this is like everybody uses these. A lot of jewelers use these too. And I saw that, and it was $3 with the flipping things. And I thought, okay. I've watched so many people using it on jewelry channels. I was like, yep, I shall buy you. What are you? I think this is a pillowcase cover to keep the pillowcases clean on my couch. Because I've got one pillow, and it has got a loose woven pillowcase on it, and that poor pillow, I think just where like everybody comes in and company sits on it, and it's got that loose weave, it like sucks dirt into the pillow, and so I got this to go under the pillowcase to keep my pillow insert clean because it looks horrible. And so these protect your pillows and are just like 60 cents, and they're just like a blank pillow case. But or if you want to like pack your own pillows and get polyfill, you can buy these and pack your own, and then let your kids decorate or something. That would be a great art project. They are felty, so the marker might spread a little bit, but I mean, it'd still be a fun project to do like a handprint for the kids or something. But I got it to protect my big pillow, and it's the deer print pillow. For some reason, the is woven. I mean, it doesn't look loose, but it must be loose because that poor pillow looks beat up in there. So I'm gonna, every time I wash it, I apologize and tell them I'm gonna buy one of those. I finally did. Yes, I apologize to my laundry. Hey, Mary. There's so many Marys. Like, I'm trying to get all my Marys straight because, oh, there's Mary. We got 2 Marys in here. Mary. I'm double Mary. Hey, Mary, it's getting closer. I checked today and it's moved. And I was like, woo, it's moving again. So if y'all don't know, Mary and I have a, hang on. Mary and I have a Temu swap fixing to occur. And I am super excited about that because I swear I actually was a good person and actually bought stuff I thought you'd really enjoy. And I only bought one thing that might make me blush just a little bit. But even it, you're going to probably laugh at because it's cute. So, okay, so I know that my boxing game must be getting close because my boxing gloves I ordered at the same time came in. And now since I've been sick, it's going to be so much more important because it's going to help me get my balance back too. Do you like my magic shoes I have over there? Those are so degrading. Did you see me trying to walk around this morning? And David made fun because I was only using one so I could hold the camera with the other hand. And he said people was going to walk down this road looking at prints and wonder what one-legged idiot. It's like, it's me. It's like, yep, somebody's going to be looking at the prints and be like, what walked down this road with one leg? It was me. Hobbling on my one little crutch. Okay, so these you have to get really pulled on. and then roll it wrapped. And these have got really good padding right here. And I tend to over punch. I have boxed and stuff before when I lift weights and stuff. I do tend to over punch. And the police academy, this guy would dress up in the red man suit, and we got 3 minutes to beat the holy crap out of him, and I loved it. They even give us a bat. It was fun. Should I be telling you these things? Probably not. But anyway, so to pass your exams, your physical exams, and your self-defense, there was a guy that was in the red man suit, and you had 3 minutes to basically disable him. It was fun. Everybody was like, oh, I don't want to hit you too hard. I was like, he can't feel nothing through that suit. Well on him. Take all your grief from your entire life out on that man in that red man suit. He can't feel crap. He's got everything protected. And all the boys was even like holding back. And by golly, I'd had 2 children by then, a divorce, remarried, and had to have a hysterectomy. And I was mad at the world. So when they handed me my bat, I was like, and my gloves, I was like, I got it. I got this. Start the timer. I took out after that man. And I got 3 minutes to like take all of my vengeance out on this poor man that was in a padded red suit. But when the buzzer went, I got one last swinging because I was already swinging. And he tipped over and he goes, whoa, because I knocked him down like 4 times. He was like, what did you do growing up? And I was like, I halter broke cattle and lift weights. I was like, you're not a 600, 800 pound bull. So I can tip you over real good. You only got 2 feet. They got 4. So that was the funnest part of the whole police academy. And everybody like hated that. And I loved it. And every year when we went back to train, that was something we got to do every year. And I was like, I want to beat the man up in the red man suit so bad. And it was just so therapeutic. I'm just telling you, everybody should take up a physical class like that at least once in their life. It was awesome. I know we've got 2 Marys. We got a Mary and then a Mary. And I was like, I got to keep my Marys straight. I've got too many Marys going on. Okay. So I still have no makeup on. I'm looking better. This is getting much better. Like I went out this morning, and in certain ways, if the light's not really pushing on it, you can't really even see that spot right there anymore. So I'm healing. I heal black eyes really quick. That's sad to say, but I mean, I've been headbutted by about every flipping animal that grows on the farm. So these are nice, like MMA quality gloves. And the gloves, some of those came with were icky, so I didn't buy the glove set that came with it. I went and bought me actual gloves because I have a tendency to over punch. And I didn't want to hurt myself. So I got the nice gloves. Okay, let's see. Open up all these bags. I'm thinking this is probably the game. Oh, it's dirty. It sat in the bottom of the FedEx van. Does anybody else hate that? I hate that. I've got a full 22-inch red wig I've got to put on and show you this one day. But it's going to take a day where I feel like, because I went with David on like a 2-hour snare trap journey. Didn't do a whole lot, but I did hobble around a little bit so that I could film so that y'all would see something besides the ground when he's talking to you. We didn't catch anything, but he had just put the snares out the night before, so we didn't think we'd catch anything. But we put 2 more skunk traps out and another snare to show Mary, the other Mary, not the retail therapy Mary, but the Mary. So she could see what the snares consist of. And it was hard to, the wind blew right at the wrong time, but he's holding it up. And the first thing he holds up is the anchor that goes like 2 foot into the ground. And you see him hammering, and he's putting the anchor 2 foot into the ground. The second thing he showed you is the swivel. And that's why we never place anything near saplings or briars or anything that they get twisted up against, because what we want is for that coyote to be alive the next morning when we come to it. We don't want it wrapped up and to have, choked itself out, because number 1, that's not very nice for the coyote. We want the most humane death possible. But number 2, it's just dangerous for the animal and you in general. So if you saw the snares, but if you saw there were other little metal things on the snare, those are like, so it stops. So that a lot of domestic animals that have smaller necks and less fur, it'll stop. And if they've been taught to lead, they'll just sit there like, oh, well, I'm here until somebody lets me out. And we let them out the next morning. It won't catch bobcats or coyotes a lot when we put those blocks on them. And that's not in season right now anymore. We're just after coyotes. So we let the foxes and the bobcats have a chance to go. Otherwise, we have to tangle with them and let them go. And that's not fun. It's not fun. You have to call like 5 of your best friends and hope everybody survives. It is fun, but it's not fun in a way that you should want to repeat it. And then it's also a safety for the white-tailed deer that sometimes travel the same paths. so that they get their foot or leg in there, that doesn't close tight enough to stick to them, to catch them. They can just pull their foot back out. So it's got a lot of safeties on there. So because we're just after coyotes right now, so we put a lot of safeties on there to make sure that we don't hopefully catch anything else. And but it was hard to hear when the wind started blowing, but there's a swivel on there so that no matter how much that coyote fights, it will swivel. And that's why we don't place it next to any saplings or briars for it to get tangled up in, because then that would inhibit that swivel. And then the animal would have not the most humane death that we want for it. So we really try to take care of the animals and take care of us. So, but when he started talking, I didn't know that the wind was blowing that hard. And then I thought, well, crap, I'll have to explain that because she won't be able to hear it. And he gets mad at me because I go through when I video and I'm acting like y'all. I'm asking the questions y'all would ask. And he'll be like, what'd you ask? You know that. And I'm like, I'm pretending to be the viewer, Dave. I'm asking questions. He's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, he's like, I speak to her and go, are you stupid? You know that? I was like, I know that, but I'm asking questions that the viewer would want to know. So, okay, this is what this looks like. And I saw, call me Chris Collins the other night, beat one up from Amazon. Only she paid like 3 times what I paid for this one. That made me feel good. So you can hook it up to Bluetooth, and it makes you secure it to the wall. You can secure it to a door or wall. I'm going to make sure it has plenty of studs behind it. I'm going to put it on one of our fully wood walls. I have a tendency to overpunch. When I get my balance, I'll have a tendency to overpunch. I know I will. It's the way I am. So, and then you put it on Bluetooth, and as your music goes, it goes to different, it's like Simon Says, and you just punches, and you can do it on 5 different levels. And it's got so much tape that I don't want to even attempt to take it apart until I put it all up, because once I get it apart, I'll never find anything if I lose it. But I will say I got it for 1/3 of what she paid for it on Amazon. Yay! I felt so much better about myself. I'm really excited about that because I slowed down the Monjero because I didn't like what it was doing to my body and my hair. And especially I was losing a lot of my muscle and getting a lot of fat right here. You see, that bothered me so bad because I've always been a big gal, but I've always had muscle. And then this fat's hanging here. And I said, stop, reverse. We're going to tone up because I can't take this. So we went back to the 5, and I'm still losing. Of course, I also about died last week, so that might be the reason. But I'm still losing, and so I'm thinking, I'm going to stay on. That's what I wanted to stay on anyway, and that doctor didn't want me to lose momentum during the winter. That almost killed me. I'll save the thing that irritate everybody for the very last. See what's in here. I'm thinking there's some stuff. I was going to do some bead work on this dream catcher behind me, and then I realized that it said some of my art craft stuff was coming in today. And I'm guarantee you, the way the wind was blowing this evening, that they've stuck some stuff in my mailbox because they didn't want it to end up in the next county over. And the wind has been horrible here. Horrible. Oh, no, I couldn't do it on the back porch. Because this thing's too electronic and it'll draw dampness. So I'll have to put it I'll probably put it back there in Haley's room until I figure out and then when I get my craft room, that one craft room has got log cabin siding on 2 walls, and it is like sturdy as cement blocks. So I'll probably put it in there when I get my craft room squared away. Which I've got about 1/3 of it squared away. I feel special. I'm actually getting there. I'm separating my stuff out so I don't pack everything to the bedroom and then get down there and wonder where I put everything. Okay, let's see what this is. A dress, I think. Here's the belt. It must be a dress. I've got to do the lookbook. I've got the clothes laid out. I was just so tired when I got back from all that. And then I had to do 2 loads of laundry and fold them and put them away. And I was tired, and I lay down, and then my body just went out. Which is the bottom, which is the top? Oh my gosh, can't do this. Oh, there it is. I'm getting into these faux wrap hippy dippy dresses. I don't know why. I have to safety pin them or put a little safety swag there. But this one is really long. It's umpire right under you. bust, and I mean, it's this long. It goes down to this gorgeous ruffle, and it has a belt so you can snatch your natural waist, which mine's actually getting kind of small. You know, my pro rodeos did not ride at my natural waist. Maybe that's why I always look like a man everywhere I went. I realize now my natural waist is much higher than them regular pro rodeos I wore in high school. I might have got, well, no, I got flirted with quite a bit. I just hated boys. I mean, I despised boys. I mean, I coon hunted with them and deer hunted with them, and they were fine. And then they go to school, stick their noses up in the air. And I'd be like, And then when we was out coon hunting, they'd be like, you want to go to the movies next weekend? Not if you want to speak to me in the hallways in school. Why would I want to go to the movies with you? Or I'd say, no, you hunt with red bones. Sorry. Can't date somebody that hunts with red bones. Blue tick I can handle. A walker I can tolerate. Red bones, But then after I got out of high school and they all figured out that you want to marry a good woman, they were like, where did Elizabeth go? And I'm like, Elizabeth ran right away from y'all. We'll have to take my earrings out. What are these? What the crap? I used to take care of a Russian boy that was 17 that he had been adopted out of Russia with him and his two twin brothers that were much younger. And as soon as they hit American soil, the family told them, sorry, we didn't want you. We just wanted your brothers. So they went to a placement camp for at-risk youth. And he was not a bad child. And so he was literally reading books and trying to learn English and learning. He was trying to pass his GED. And he was there because when they adopted, they told that, ow, that hurt. They told the adoption agency they wanted all three of them, but then as soon as they landed on American soil, they sent him to that facility. And it broke my heart because he was such a good kid. Such a good kid. And we communicated so well. You should have seen him sing I'm a Little Teapot for the first time. That was freaking hilarious. I liked the way he talked, and he liked the way I talked. And every time he got disgusted with something or he got confused, he'd go, what the crap? And I still do that. What the crap? I think of him. I only have one niece, and but I mean, I'll adopt you, sure. Okay, I'll be your auntie. Whatever. You want a link to the punching thing, Mary, or the dress? Because I've not been watching the chat. You see how I just get into it and go on. I'm so confused. Do they or their feet? Oh, oh, hang on. I'm reading. Well, the thing is you see how well traveled those paths are? Like they're like deep cut into that, and that grass is thick and swampy in spots. So it's deep cut down to the dirt. So they're repetitively running that path at night, and they're just following butt to tail with their whole little herd there running so they can go out and find something to kill or eat. And they're creatures of habit, so they run the same trails every night. And they get really used to those trails. So if there's not been any trapping pressure or any snaring pressure, and there's not been in this farm's been vacant and not trapped for years and years and years and years and years. And oh my God, that's why the land looks so poor, and you can just tell it's not healthy. It's pretty back there, but it's just not healthy land. And you can tell that because the only birds we saw today were crows and buzzards. There's no nesting birds down there. You can tell that there's too many predators. And so they run. And they're moving quick at night because, they're after dinner, and they don't think that somebody's after them because they think they're, top on the totem pole. I never think I'm top on the totem pole. There's always something out there that can kill me. But they run through and they'll get their head. Normally it's just their head, and they'll pull back and it locks around their neck. And they normally will just fight it and sit there all night, but they'll give to the pressure and just sit there all night. And so that way, it's stuck there. All the others keep going. They don't care. I kind of feel bad about that because I'm like, you didn't even stop for your brother or sister or cousin or, you didn't even stop. But they run and put their head, and by the time they're moving fast, by the time they realize they feel that pressure, that wire on their fur and their shoulder, when they pull back, it catches in that hair, and we've got them by the neck. So every once in a while you get one leg through. That's not a good catch. We don't like to do that because it really stresses the animal out way more than just the neck would. So we try not to do that. David's pretty good at mostly just getting head snares. So we think about the animals. And we try to, that's why he checks every day. He doesn't want something, you know, to be caught and not taken care of. What in the crap did I get? Literally, what in the crap? What are you? What in the... I'm blind. Can anybody see what those are? I think they're like tiny, tiny bird skulls. Yeah, that's what they are. Tiny, tiny bird skulls. Okay, got a pair of tiny, tiny bird skulls. Okay. So now I have the 2 dangly bird skulls for each bottom hole and then the little tiny for the top. That's just, I don't remember ordering those. Did I win those? I don't know. You shouldn't Temu at 3 a.m., Elizabeth. It's just not a good thing to do. Or I may have won a prize and just not remembered it. I don't know. Sometimes I don't remember. No, I dropped it. Hang on. Excuse me. Where did you go? Oh, well, I'll find it in a minute. It's under me, so. Okay, here's some of my art stuff I got coming in. Now my nose is going to run. Ever since the mastoiditis, my nose has run like a sieve once it started to run again. I can't stop it. So. But yeah, they do. They're tracking. See, they're tracking the coyote in front of them by scent. They're not in the nighttime. And they do see pretty good, but they can't see that snare because it's hidden in the weeds. And by the time they got their head in it, it's too late. Okay, so I wanted to test the quality of some of these people's other dream catchers. And this one I'm already irritated about because it said it come home from a big limb. There ain't no big limb in here. So I'm going to be talking to Tim about this because that was false advertising. It showed a, like a, it was not really dry, driftwood dry, but like a dry pole that it was hanging from. So I'm going to be talking to Tim about this. But let's see how their stuff, it looks just like they took a doily that somebody crocheted and stretched it and put feathers on it. Let me see if they're fake. Anyway, I just think this looks cheesy, but I wanted to see what they look like compared to mine. And they had this big, it's got like 5 different sizes. And it's supposed to hang from a pole. There is no pole, Temu. What crap? Crap, man. I'm going to call you on that one, Temu. Okay. Now, this is done by machine. This is not hand done at all. I mean, it's cute, but it's not hand done at all. It's done by machine. Okay, and this was just for me because I've seen people get these and talk about these, and I'm like, that is not made with love. Somebody might have wove that. But this is a doily, that's a doily, this is a doily, that's a doily. And the feathers have been cut down to nothing. They are not wrapped with sinew. They've just got cord glued to a bead with a feather. Yeah. It's not very well done. I mean, not as far as a natural one would be. Is it pretty? Yeah, it's pretty. I can probably strip the feathers and turn these into other things, take them apart and turn them into other things, and like add small accents to mine that are made right. But like, I'm not going to tell anybody that was woven by me because this is a machine crochet. And that's a machine crochet, and that's a machine crochet, and that's a machine crochet. These are not hand tatted or woven. This is the only part that's probably been hand woven. And very poorly too. Look at this. Like when I do my gathering knots, you can't tell where one end starts and one end stops. Look at how sorry that is. Look at that sticking up right there. This is what I tell people, don't buy your dream catchers on Temu. They're not man-made. They don't got the juju and the heart in them they're supposed to have. Now, can I take this apart and mutilate it and turn it into something art-wise? Yes. Will I put it into a dream catcher? No, because you don't have the mojo in the dream catcher that people need the dream catcher for. So, no, we'll not sell them as dream catchers, but I may take them apart and turn them into other things. Let's open one of these. This has got ribbons hanging from it. It's just very poor quality. It's on metal. This is a metal rod, metal ring that's been wrapped with jute, very poorly, I might add. You don't ever do a dream catcher, a real authentic dream catcher with metal, because metal is, no, you use willow, which is a heartwood. You use willow. And if you don't use the right things, they don't do what they're intended to do. And so I'm just telling you, these are pretties, but they ain't going to do crap for you. I mean, if you just want to decorate, that's fine, but they're not going to do anything for you. See, I even thought the other one might have been hand woven, but now that I'm looking at the weave on this one, I think they've got a machine doing it all. That moon might have been, but this is definitely machine done because it cuts its own strings. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and the machine ties its own knots and cuts its own strings. I can tell right there at the top where it's, I don't know if you can see that right there where my thumb is. It cuts its own knots. But I mean, can I take these things apart and use parts of them? Yes. But I just wanted to show you the difference. Look how tiny this is. Look, this is one of theirs, and this is, hang on. This is one of mine that's only halfway finished. This is one of theirs. This is one of mine. I got willow wood. Okay. I got jute, cotton jute, which this feels like a nylon. Okay. I use the ribbons that, if you don't want the feather dangles, I use ribbons that are naturey. I've got embroidered this one. I've got real feathers. And I'm not only halfway done with this one, you know. I've still got tons of stuff to put on this one. I'm waiting for my stuff to come in. But that's metal. That's metal. That's metal. And it's a shame that a lot of people get sucked into thinking these are, you know, like what Native people make, because it's not at all what Native people make. And that one, the one that I showed you that I made, is a girly one. If you see one of my au naturel ones that is made out of wood, sinew, string, cotton string, and bone, and I always put like a selenite or quartz or something on there, then you'll understand why mine are so much different. You want to, well, okay, email me. I've got that one done. I've got 3 in the making. I'm going to get Savannah's done into her. And then, but I mean, I don't care to make one. I only make them for basically what I have got into them. So it depends on how much you want in it and how big you want it. So, but I have to keep it also mellowable size. So I try to keep it within, because I have woven them like 3x5 or 3x4.5, 3x5 before, like in the shape of a big eye. That was fun. Oh, I love these birds so much. I got dangles. I got bird dangles because I thought they're just those raven heads. I thought, ooh, I could put those on feather drops and stuff. And then I also like to put, there's feathers and thread going everywhere. I didn't like to fill those feathers either. I put real feathers. I use goose feathers, and then I have Fowl Farms to pick up feathers for me. So, don't run. Hang on, I'll be able to show you this. Let me make sure. Okay, I got these, and these are going to be hard for me to show you this. Oh, Lord. Hang on. Whoa, hang on. Oh, nails. These were the wrong set of nails for this week. I'm here to tell you. I've already took the color off one of them. Don't fall. These are the tiniest little bead caps for my tiniest little beads that I dangle up the tiniest little threads on my dream catchers. That will atop a bison horn or a water buffalo horn bead. That's how tiny they are. That's the detail I also put into mine. You don't just get a bead. You're going to get, you can use any natural metal. And so I have to get silver. I have to get that or Tibetan silver. And so I got some of those because I got a really good price on them. Oh, and here are some of the beads like I use. These are real. And you have to really know what you're shopping for and to make sure that you get them. But these are not like a, agate or a jasper, but let me show you what they are if I can get them open because these nails. Nails. Oh my gosh. Square, after working with almonds and round tips, these squares are killing me. This is sea glass. And it's a little expensive because I just get this much. So I use it sparingly to accent colors. But this is sea glass. And I know it's clear sea glass when I touch it to my teeth. It's sea glass. And they tumble it and drill the holes in it. I have a sea glass ring that's made from sea glass that was picked up in Ireland, right between Ireland and Scotland, where it washes and tumbles. My husband got me a sea glass ring made by a local artisan over there, and I love it. I've got a lot of friends in London, so they help him. But these are sea glass, and they call them sea glass agates because they're just compositions of the glass that's tumbled and tumbled and tumbled. So they come in all different shades and sizes, and you just kind of get whatever is tumbled for years. And they just sometimes they cut it and they tumble it to make individual little beads, and sometimes you can order the big chunks. Now I've got tons of sizes and colors coming in. I think this is one of the smaller ones. This is what the bead caps go on. This is how tiny. This is how detailed my work gets, y'all. So, let me tell you what, I wear a lot of glasses to make those dream catchers. But, I mean, I want you to be proud of what you get. I am birdhead crazy. I love them things. I had thought about those for a long time. And then I thought, well, I'm just going to, because this is what David, that pheasant that we had in the freezer. If you've heard me about me and that pheasant, and that I had a pheasant plucking day, and I plucked that pheasant. Not no pheasant never been plucked before. But we also wanted to see if we could save its skull. The thing with birds is they're so fragile. I'm eating feathers off that. I guarantee you won't do that to mine either. I do have, if you go back through my community posts, I probably have pictures of my au naturel. I sold all of them currently, so I don't have any of them now. The tribe scooped them up. But you basically dictate if I give you a girly one or if I give you a real one, authentic Cherokee one. So you dictate that. But I love those bird. We were going to try to save that pheasant skull. And the thing is they're so tiny. And by the time you try to simmer them out and clear them, that beak will fall off. They have to glue the beak back on. It's just so tender. It's just so bird skulls. I like the people that handle them and do them. They got a really delicate touch. And hey, props to you. I can't do it. Well, I don't have the patience to do it. We'll say that. Look, I got another sundress. Another one of these. These are my favorite sundresses. Mostly because I put them on over my swimsuits, or when I go somewhere, I'll wear like one of my bandeau bras that matches. Like under this one, I could wear this purple. And it would match because I've got layers of lavender down here. See, I cheat. But lots of times I'll just take them, like if we go with friends to the lake or something, I'll take them and put them over my swimsuit because they're really thin and they dry really quick. But look at the color on that and that ruffle there. Isn't that pretty? And it's got another like 3 or 4 inch elastic band, so it's gonna hang on to you. Isn't that pretty? I love this. This was a little bit more expensive than the other ones, but it's also got these little gather spots up here, which are kind of cute. Okay, well, I thought they gathered. They do not, but it looks gathered, so I think it's still cute. So you've got a double string. So it had a lot of details that the others didn't have. So I didn't mind giving a couple extra bucks because there's a couple extra seams, and I don't like to sew either, people. So I buy it from you. But this is really cute, and it stretches really good. So if you go on a day to the lake and then you get done playing on the lake and you want to go to the restaurant on the marina, you can go to the restaurant and eat your buffet. Isn't it pretty? I love, it was the lavender, the purple flowers that did it for me though. I have purple, it's not permanent, it's like daily, it washes out hair dye. I bet you $10 when I wear that. I put me a purple streak in my hair somewhere. I bet you I do. He was about to say deja vu. Well, I was just telling him, got your dream catcher to fix and we'll finish. And then Mary said she wanted one. Not retail therapy, but the other Mary. I know. We're going to have to give nicknames. I missed 3 bags that were behind me, 3 little bags that were behind me last night. And then today my mailman bought me 2 more things. Okay, so this is, have you ever seen those plus size like multi-piece outfits? Excuse me. Why did I hiccup? All I've had is Gatorade and yogurt today. Anyway, don't understand that. Yes. I've had 4 in rotation, but I have to feel them when I work on them. And I said, I didn't care to do her one, but, I had to finish yours first because yours was. And all my mods, Savannah's getting the dream catchers because she asked one a long time ago. And she and I talked and became really close friends. And but my mods are going to get like a little gift package of a couple of jewelry items. And a couple craft things that I make, a jewelry item. If you see something in the next few weeks that I'm making that you really like, and you're one of my mods that have saved my butt in the last 3 weeks, just let me know. Either stick it in the conversation, make sure I see it, or email me, and I'll be like, okay, I'll just make an extra one. So that way you get kind of what you want. So, hey, it takes me, if I've been sick, it takes me forever to get crap done. Y'all know. But now when I get to feeling good and I get on my crafting train, and I have been cleaning my craft room, and I think that's kind of what's held me back, because I've been cleaning my craft room waiting for some other sea glass and some other beads to come in, because I've got some really nice stuff coming in. I shopped some more for craft supplies, and I got me a shelving unit to put in my craft room, to put behind me to hang stuff that I'm working on. It's pretty so that it's in the backdrop. I've got to move. I've got a big taxidermy weasel in there in a diorama, so I'm going to have to move that somewhere, though. I could charge admission in my house. Anyway, have y'all ever wondered if those plus-size outfits are really worth buying? And I like, okay, it's going back to like the 90s, the early 90s, the bright, vibrant colors and the big acrylic earrings. And I feel like I'm in 6th and 7th grade all over again, wearing my big Saved by the Bell polka-dotted parachute pants and my big neon pink shorts with my big oversized teddy bear t-shirt and my slouch socks and my little white shoes from Walmart. Oh, and I've got my hair done up and poofed over like this, like the big fan we did like that. God, I need to redo that one day and show y'all. I had the big fan hair with the big on the sides. I was rocking it. Or I had the big Madonna bow right here with the big sideways bangs. I was rocking it. Listen, I'm fixing to shock y'all. 6th grade, because I had never been big until I started working with livestock when I was in 8th, 9th grade. I mean, I've always been a husky gal because of the farming stuff, but I've never been like a giant until I started working cattle. And then I went, kaboom. It happens. But in 6th grade, I was head cheerleader at my middle school. I did gymnastics for a number of years. I was the best round off person in the gymnastics. Backflips were not super graceful, but my round offs were awesome. And I got to compete, and I was a little scrawny thing. And then puberty hit, and where I've been working farms, I went ka-chunga. And then I started working beef cattle and went ka-chunga, ka-chunga. And then I started lifting weights with the football team, and the rest is history. Oh, wait. I'll see it. Let me go back. Oh, look. Hang on. Retail therapy. 1, 2. Okay. Y'all just email me. It's watersworkload@gmail.com. Email me because I have like certain questions for you. Because I'm going to make you, if I make you one, I'm going to make it for what you need it made for. So I asked a couple questions, favorite colors, and it's kind of like site questions that you would ask that I get a lot from like 2-worded answers. So I'll ask you some questions and get it done. And I only charge for what I have in them because I'm not making any money. I just like to make them for people because I think they really help. Denise, who's not in here tonight, I don't think I've seen her yet. Denise's granddaughter, I made one for her about 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago. She was having horrible night terrors. She was like going to a doctor and seeing somebody and having horrible night terrors. And from the day she received that and she read my letter and hung it up, she's not had a nightmare since. The only dream she had was that she got up refrigerator and went and ate all the cake frosting. And I thought, honey, that is not a nightmare. That's a good dream. I wish I could do that in my dreams because I can't do it in real life anymore. But I wanted to know if these were, you know, what they said they were. So I got a set and, you know, figured if nothing else, I just used it to sleep in. But I got a tank top. Well, it's kind of a tank top. It's got a divot up there. It's kind of a, I go to the country club tank top. Hang on, it's got a line. It's got a liner. That's why. It's kind of a I go to the country club tank top. It's this little popping collar up here. I like the orange. I don't mind to wear orange. I'm here for all the attention I can get. So, I like orange. This is soft. This is really nice. Now, am I going to like the shorts? I don't know. I don't know because they're heavier than the top. And the elastic, I don't think it's stitched to where it won't flip. So if you don't want your elastic to flip, you'll have to do a safety stitch on each side so it won't flip. But I mean, I like the colors. I like the bright colors. And it's fun. I totally wear this to the park or to, you know, a weekend festival somewhere. I don't care. But I'm going to wear it and see how they wear because they're not super expensive, but they do charge you quite a bit. I like the top quite a bit. It's very nice quality. It's very soft. But I'm going to wear that and see how those double pieces wear because I've had a lot of other women my size be like, are those worth buying? I'll tell you in a couple weeks because I'm sure I'll wear it. Oh, I love loud colors. Oh, we're getting to the crafty bits. Yay. This is another dress. Can't you imagine? This one is a weird one because it's got one of those tight necks. Hang on. I have to figure these things out with you. Okay, here we go. It's one of these where your arms go out the slits and it comes up. It's like a, hang on, my hair's getting away. It's like a halter. And it comes up and you tighten the back around your neck so it's, so you're covered. And then it goes down to a stretchy waist, which is really stretchy. It's not like super tight. I kind of like them to pinch me in the middle. It doesn't have a ruffle, does it? No. It's just got a, it's got like a half semicircle skirt. So it's got a little bit of a twirl. And it's a lovely paisley pattern. Let's check out. And they did roll and then stitch. So you don't see any raw edges. That's nice. Let's check up here. They rolled and stitched up here. Now here's I'll tell on them here. Here they just serged and stitched. So of course I guess if it's gonna be up around your neck, they probably didn't want to roll it and you have something heavy. But this would be a really pretty lookbook. My arms are not as nice this year as they were last year because I've got all the fat dangling off of them now where I've lost weight. But you know, we're just gonna run with it. I mean, somebody gets up in my face and tells me I'm fat. We'll have fun that day. That'd be a fun day. More for I got purple for my purple dress. Don't tell me I can't match. See, I can dress like a girl. Ooh, I got some more of these. These are tourmaline, I do believe. And I get the real stuff. This stuff's heavy. You want to see how heavy this stuff is? Ow. These are real gems. And you have to crawl through Temu to find the real gem store. I've got them saved. Look at these. These are tourmaline. Listen. They're real. I love these. I love these. They're so pretty. I like that they're not all the same because it just, wherever they tumbled from the crystal itself, it comes out kind of different colors. But I love these. I love these. And I love that color. It's kind of like an olive green, but it floats into a blue in some areas. I love that. Let's see. Oh, and then we all know I'm addicted to sparkly things. Did I just leave something down in there? Damn, you better not come over there. This is sea glass, but it is the kind that is made into, I mean, is really refined. So this is the glassy glass. The other is the big chunks that are tumbled. These are the glass. And I love them. They're tiny. And they're sharp on the edges. I'm not going to lie. They're sharp on the edges. But that's also where those little bead caps come in so that you won't cut your fingers on them. But oh my gosh, the way they catch the light. I mean, you just put a couple on a feather drop halfway down and it will just catch the light so nicely. So I love these. These are gorgeous. They're a little sharp on the edges because they're just sea glass. It's been put into little cubes. Oh, I wish I were color coordinated like that, but it don't happen for me. What are you? You ever buy things and then confuse yourself? I just did that right then. Let me see what this is. Oh, they're earrings. Hey, how pretty are you? Oh, these are little drop dangle moon and turquoise earrings. How pretty is that? Those are nice. Those would be pretty. I like celestial stuff. Some people say witchy stuff, and I'm like, it's not witchy. It's just celestial. I have a whole different world of looking at that. It's ethereal. It's not witchy. Stop saying I like witchy stuff. I call it ethereal or celestial stuff. I'm trying to keep all my stuff separated so I know what goes where when I... Okay, and I won the other day all these little succulents. I ordered this moss because if you dry moss out, it takes forever. Savannah does some really great true crime stuff. Like when she gets on a story, she's like a dog with a bone. I got the dual colored moss because if you try to dry moss, it takes forever, and I'm not that patient, so I just buy it. I won all these succulent things, but I've got a lot of those little round egg things that hang, and then these lanterns. So I'm going to be able to use a lot of this to make these things look more natural. And actually, is it donkey's tail or string of pearls? I can't remember. But these actually look really good. I'm surprised. This is just a tiny little succulent, but I mean, it looks just like the one I killed. So I can keep anything alive but a succulent. And I kill succulents like you would not believe. I don't know if it's just a talent, a gift. I don't know. This is actually really nicely done. They're plants and stuff. I don't want to open them because in the morning I'll have to open them and put them on the porch. They do have an odor the first day or two they're out, but I mean, they're pretty. So I will wait to open them in the morning because I will put them on the porch. I got just a few purple flowers because I've got somebody that wants a purple thing, and I thought, I'm just going to get a couple of purple flowers. I got one bunch that was like 27 cents because literally I need like 3 flowers. I do a lot of nature. I don't punch colors unless somebody asks me to. And then I'll punch whatever color you want, but I do nature colors. Here's some more sea glass. Aren't those gorgeous? And it's nice for me to be able to tell everybody what's on whatever item they get because, you know, it's important for me to tell you so that you know what went into that. It's, you know, a lot of thought and a lot of effort. Aren't those gorgeous? They look like little mini globes. I thought they looked like little mini planets. I thought they were so pretty. So I do kind of an earthy nature landscape kind of color pattern. Oh, I got this from Mama's bird cage with the lights on it in between her hummingbird feeders. I've got some more vines, but then I thought, wouldn't it look good if it just had like a wisteria kind of dangly, I dropped a flower, wisteria dangly kind of look to it. So I just got a couple of these to cut, and I'm just going to do like a couple of dangles on each side so that it looks like it has little wisteria drops. Oh, come on, don't tangle. Don't tangle. But I thought that would be pretty because I've gotten greenery to put back on it, but then I wanted to put a little extra punch or something. So I'm going to add like 3 or 4 little drops so it looks like a wisteria plant. So I did lose one flower off that. I have to find out where it went and plug it back on. And check your corners because Temu likes to, well, Customs likes to hide everything, or Temu. I still think my favorite thing I've gotten in the last month are my flamingo lights and my whirly gigs for my yard as soon as flipping summer gets here. And there's got to be something I've got to turn on in here. It didn't say. Oh, hey, I did it. I turned it on. I got the warm glow, and I don't know if you can tell if it, well, hang on, let me turn off the light. Because it casts a pattern. I want you to be able to see the pattern. Hang on, I gotta, oh gosh, watch me fall. If you hear me tumble, call 911. Seriously. Trying to not use my magic legs. Okay, so it casts a pattern. Oh, got it. Hang on. I'll just show you on me. It cast, well, you can't see it now. It cast a pattern down. And if you can see, it's got like, you see the dots? It looks like a big flower dotted kind of rave looking thing. And it's a big circle it casts. So it adds a dimension to your lawn. I think they're cool. I mean, I think these are pretty cool. They were a little expensive, but I mean, they are very solid made. So if you keep up with them, they'll last you a long time. But I love these. You can see the polka dots on my face where they do the patterns. See? You cast a pattern. It looks like flowers and disco balls. Let me see if I can take that out there. See how far it's going over my arms and everything. So it's going to have like a little 3-foot circle of these little flowery looking disco ball lights around it. Isn't that pretty? Will it show up on my quilt? No, not well enough. I should have had a dark quilt up there. But you see the pattern? And then it gets bigger. Those are bright too, buddy. When I get them in the ground, when it's warmer, I'll take pictures for you. Steven Gonzalez. Hi. Yeah, I'm pretty chill until the trolls come in. Then I'm a hateful. But I mean, I don't know. I'm just over sorry people. Let me turn this off. You have to push them that to turn them off. I was looking for something to pull for the battery last night. Let me go turn my light back on. Once again, I'm testing my legs. If you hear me fall, call 911. That was just bad. That was not me. I do not walk the best right now. I'm getting better. But, like, it scares me sometimes after the last week. I found my earring that I dropped. It scares me a little bit after the last week with that mastoiditis, how unstable I was, that I don't, even if I don't have both of those, I try to have one of them in my hands. But I'm here to tell you, I had both of those in my hand trying to separate the carts at Walmart, and nobody wanted help. I literally had like 6 people just standing there looking at me, and I was like, anybody want to help? It's like, y'all are useless as tits on a boar hog. And they were. I had to rip them apart and go on. It made me so mad. I think the most delicate thing I got was this little silver bead cap. I don't mind to pay, because when I do it au naturel, it has to be of the earth. So everything I use has to be a willow, wood, cotton. You know, if I use do the au naturel Cherokee dream catcher. So if I do a girly, then I can flex, because none of the tribe is going to come after me, because that's what you wanted. But if I do them for the tribe, they have to be au naturel. So it has to be willow wood, cotton, or jute twine. You can use wool, some wools that they like. They've got a merino wool thread that's really pretty. It does okay as long as you don't drag it across itself too much when you're weaving. I use all the natural gems, crystals, beads, and I normally put a selenite or amethyst or quartz or something on them. And I normally put bones and skulls, and then I use dried flowers for the au naturel ones. I use dried flowers, or feathers, which the dried flowers are a little expensive, but they're really pretty. You just have to make sure people are very careful with them when they look at them and think they want to purchase them, because I'm like, be careful. Those are dried flowers. I will like polyacrylic spray them a little bit to hold them, but people still just want to handle everything. Oh, July, you're more than welcome here. You've been adopted into the family. Yeah, YouTube has got some really horrible streets. I'm here to tell you. There's some giant turds out there. And I got no problem putting a line in the sand for anybody. I try not to have a problem, but if you want to bring me a problem, I'm completely okay with handling a problem. What do I do for fun? Well, now I like make dream catchers, and I'm fixing to wood burn some skulls. That's gonna be pretty. Fixing to make some deer jawbone wind chimes with shell. That's gonna be pretty. Let's see. This morning I checked the snare line with my husband. That was nice. I was useless pretty much because I was on those things, but I mean I went with him and I helped. Well, I videoed. Does that help? I helped. Used to 20 years ago, if you'd asked me that, 15 years ago, if you asked that, I'd been like a hog hunt, a deer hunt, a coon hunt, and I do taxidermy and a fish. And now I do very little, but I still do a lot of my native arts. So that's what I do now. So that's what I do now. Might as well be chopsticks instead of fingers. Yeah, we shop online. Well, I've tried to find the finer corners of Temu, but I am actually, because these sea glass beads, and I know they're real. I've gotten real good with certain quality of things since I have been doing all this, and the gems and crystals, I've gotten really good. So once I find a shop that they verify, and I know I've got it ordered and I know they've got good stuff, then I order again. This shop has got excellent stuff. I've got them saved in my Temu, and I'll try to remember to write them down the next time I'm there. They have never sold me a gem or sea glass, or that it's not been valid what it is. So I'm very happy with these. These, they make a very specific sound when you hit them, and these very specific things to your teeth when you rub them, so you know they're glass. And then like the tourmaline and the gems, I mean, this is lighter, this is heavier. It's a gem, it's heavy. And these are lighter, they're glass. And so I know these are not glass beads, these are actually tourmaline tumbled gems. I like sometimes to get the raw cut stuff, but if I'm doing feather drops, then I need the round ones. I need to add something to that string. I need to add a pretty to the weave if I'm doing an au naturel one. Now, if I'm doing one where you just want lace and ribbon and a pretty embroidery and some feathers, it's not a big deal. But when I'm doing the au naturel ones, it's a really big deal for me. So I'm always trying to put the au naturel stuff together. And that's why I'm stuck on this guy, because he's got those are something other with iron ore in them. Sabrina gave them to me, and I keep forgetting it sounded like hemorrhoids, because I made fun of him when she said it sounded like hemorrhoids. But this is a raccoon skull rattle that he's drying, but he's got amethyst and amazonite in him. And I've got one of the dangles done, but I've got to put more beads on this so it clinches around. And then I've got to finish the rest of the handle. But I've got to make this where they'll hold it and shake it. So when they go around in the costume class, and he will make, see how much more noise he's making as he dries? Because I have to seal up all the holes in his skull so that he will hold the gems. And so he's got chips and round gems in his noggin. And I named him Artemis. I named all of my rattles. This is the first time I put a feather collar on one. And I just had one of the guys ask me about that from the Cherokee Nation on Facebook. And I was like, sure, I can do a feather collar. Sure. And I'm going to go back and probably do a leather or ribbon collar behind the feathers to add a pretty right here. But I'm going to do that, and I've got to finish. This is raccoon, and these are dyed pheasants, and then these are goose, and then those are turkey, and those are guinea. And this is beaver chewed willow that's dried. So I make everything the way it's supposed to be made. So, and if you go up earlier, you'll see why I bought dream catchers off Temu to show you the difference. You'll see why I make mine the way I make them. But he's sounding better every day because his where I have to put so much resin in him, it takes it a while to dry. He sits in my windowsill, so if anybody ever tries to come in my kitchen, they're probably going to get the scare of their life. But he's about halfway done. And I'm really trying to get David to give me a piece of a red fox to finish the back end of them, because I think it'd be pretty to have the red fox at the back end and then a little red fox band behind the feathers, but we'll see what he gives me, because I have to kind of take the fur that he doesn't want. Because my stuff is the tidbits and he does the fur tanning and he sells the whole hide. So I was like, I get whatever's left over. Although I do have a little tiny, really dark raccoon that I could, that would be a much different color. So I've still got some of your peacock feathers too. I've been only using them in like certain things, and I've got a peacock dream catcher that I'm working on. And they're going to go all the way around the bottom on that peacock dream catcher. That's why I got those peacock beads it comes together in my brain, and I have stuff in different stages of being done. I just never show you until I get about there, or I make it in front of you. So I try. Now I pay fowl farms to pick up feathers for me. So a lot of the natural feathers, or the ones that are hand dyed by the fowl farms, like they'll get them, put them in a salt bath to kill anything on them, and then they'll dye them. And they do a really good job, but I've bought dyed goose feathers off of Temu, and they do just as good of a job. But if I want the really like the ornamental feathers, then I just go to the local fowl farms, and I'm like, you got any molten birds? Can I have the feathers? And they'll pick me up. Like I've still got like a giant bag of feathers from a local fowl farm, and she picks them up for me. And literally, this is how much. Now, I don't jip anybody when I pay them. And she's got big, pretty, giant ornamental birds. And the last time I bought a food grocery bag full of feathers, I paid like $75 for them, because they were nice feathers. They were very nice feathers. And there were some like 12 and 14-inch plumage in there, and I paid like $75 because she had a bunch. Look how long my hair's getting, y'all. I'm going to Dutch braid it tomorrow, I think. But, hey, Braden. We have a talented crew, and I did not craft as much on camera this winter as I wanted to, mostly because I would get started doing something, and I would be like, well, I'm already halfway done. Why should I start now? But I've got the stuff together for the spun cotton animals that I'm wanting to make, and I'm getting my beads and stuff in so we can start decorating. I'm going to put skulls in these lanterns. I got one big one. This is the little one. I'm going to put hanging skulls in these lanterns. Or I might resin them. I don't know. And I might not keep the candle things in there. I may just put skulls and some danglies and some moss and fairy lights and sell those. So David has started working on skulls. And so I probably will I've got some teeth to do some teeth jewelry. I've already done some jewelry, but I've got to do a bunch more. And I will probably have a ton of teeth by the 1st of May. But we've got to be at Bandy Creek the 27th of April. They're doing the spring planting event. And so David always is asked to bring hides and talk about tanning and do all that crap. And then they have a guy that's there that my dad actually taught how to shoe horses. He shoes horses for the day as an exhibition. Then they use the draft to plow up the gardens there. And then the TWRA is there talking about the parks and all the wildlife. They normally send people to our booth. They're like, if you want to see this, this, or this, because they don't have everything, but we do. Dad picked me up a pig skull out of the woods the other day, so I've got to clean it up. My father just randomly texted me and said, you want a pig skull? You want a boar skull? And I said, yeah. Yeah. He's like, okay. He's like, I'll pick up bones. I said, okay. Oh, and I've got vertebrae that Sabrina painted in such a pretty way. It gave me an idea. So I bought air plants, and I'm going to paint the vertebrae, and they can either be votive holders or air plant holders. The big cow vertebrae, gorgeous. I'm hoping to find somewhere, and as David's out scouting and figuring out, because he's going to be after these coyotes and hogs forever for this farm. So as he's out scouting and stuff, any bones, I'm hoping to find like the whole vertebrae of a fox or a smaller animal. But I've told him if he doesn't mind, If he does, if it does, I did my big doe eyes and said, honey, if you don't mind, when you pull out those skunks, all the skunks that you've caught this year, can I have some vertebrae? And he just looks at me and I'm like, it'll make really pretty stuff. And it does, it makes really pretty drops to put my feathers in for dream catchers. And it makes really pretty earrings. I had a chiropractor. This is not funny. I mean, it was, I made him and I was like, duh, when it happened. She came up to us at that Heritage Festival at Scott County and she was like, do you hand make jewelry and stuff? I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. It's like, I get bored. I make a lot of stuff. And she said, Gypsy's trying to tell me something. Mother's Day. Abby wants you there. Oh, that's so sweet. So I might get to do Easter and Mother's Day then, right? I'm not planning on having mastoiditis anymore. But I said, yeah, sure. And she was like, I want vertebrae earrings. And I was like, what kind of vertebrae? Cow or coyote or fox? And she was like, coyote. And I was like, okay. And I got home and literally all I did is she didn't want the bones altered. She didn't want to paint it. She just wanted to put on hanging rounds. And I $3 a pair because all I did was put vertebrae on a hanging round with a hook already on it. And she bought 5 pairs of those for all of her staff. They were the smallest of the coyote vertebrae. And she was a chiropractor. I thought, duh. That was hilarious. I thought it was funny. It was hilarious. Yes, the vertebrae are the spine of the animal. Normally, I try to use the neck because they're the smaller ones for earrings, but the bigger ones you can use for like to hold the feather bunches in dreamcatcher drops. Or I have made a coyote spine lamp before. Sabrina has it in West Virginia. So the next time you, yeah, she has it in her room it's in a vase, and I E6000 it together. I put it back together. And it goes up, and then I put a lampshade and I put fairy lights all the way around it, and then I put the fairy lights inside the lampshade, and it was beautiful. And I put peacock feathers. I lacquered peacock feathers onto the lampshade. It was very pretty. I just get bored and I make things, but David gives me leftovers. Bye, Why July. Thanks for popping in. I'm going to put all this crud up because now I've got the moss in and some of the beading in, and I can get some stuff done. So we'll probably finish a couple things at the kitchen table, and then I'm going to try to get moved to the craft room. See you soon. Yeah, I'll be on quite a bit now that I'm feeling better. So Timu has kind of taken over my life, but you should see the craft reserve I have built up. Oh, and I'm looking for a cow scapula. Shoulder blade. I'm going to clean it, and I'm going to tear my edges off to kind of match the shape of the cow scapula, and I'm going to Mod Podge a cow scapula with a canvas and put hangers on. It's going to be so pretty. That's what I'm after. I asked Dad, I said, you got a cow shoulder blade? And he was like, I don't know. I'll have to go look, because he runs a cattle farm. And he said, Bill up the road might have one. I said, okay. But he said, I'll just bring you a box of bones when I come next time. And I was like, okay. Thank you. So. Am I like an artist? Well, no, I mean, I just get bored and make stuff. But I grew up, I'm in Appalachia. So you grow up different in Appalachia. And my husband is a trapper tanner. And because I'm half Scots Irish and half Cherokee, I don't like to waste animals. And so going to powwows and growing up with the tribe, you learn how to do stuff. So, and I did taxidermy for a long time, and my brother had a hunting lodge. So you just grow up knowing how to do stuff. In my career, I have a master's in psychology, and I was a parole officer until I had a injury that created a neuromuscular disorder that I don't walk that well now. As you can see, my little magic cane's behind me. So, but I used to supervise murderers and the violent male offenders for the state. So, but I do a lot of weird stuff now. I do a lot of dream catchers for the tribe, talking sticks, ceremonial sticks, rattles for the tribe. So it's kind of what I do now. I mean, it keeps me busy, and I'm used to working like 80 hours a week. So, but I also have a horrible health because of this disorder. So I'm here a lot, and then I'm I may get down or in the hospital for a couple weeks, and you might not see me for a couple weeks. So I'm just getting over a really bad illness that actually almost got me. So we're trying to get our engines revved back up and get stuff done. Oh yeah, there's stuff I've made in other videos you can scan through. One of them says Craft a Palooza or something. I put a whole bunch of stuff I'd made. And I've got bunches of stuff in like half and two-thirds the way done that I've not showed you that I need to show you, but we'll get to it. I've also been digging out the craft room. So I have been doing stuff, but I have to do it in spurts now because my energy is not quite all the way back. And today's been like the best day because I went with David to check the snare line, had to go do that pickup, and had to end up going into Walmart, which was great on those stupid things. That was lovely. Come home and did 2 loads of laundry, folded, picked up the house a little bit. And then my body was like, lady, you need to lay down. And so I lay down. And then I got up and got all this stuff together. Did one little small team video I need to edit. And then opened my door and went, crap, there's more Temu here. But I'd also missed 3 little bags behind me that was by the curio. So yeah, check out. I do a lot of silly videos, but then you'll see videos that I've edited for Dave that I put on my channel, my husband. Then you'll see him in the shop, or you'll see some of our festivals we go to, and you can kind of see stuff that, like, we've got to go. This is so cute. Next month, we've got to go to one of the local middle schools and give a presentation on the wildlife in our area. Because they asked the TWRA, and the TWRA said you need to call Dave and Elizabeth because they have more stuff. And I'm like, yeah. Like, I've got coyote pelts lining my hallway, down my hallway right now. I've got so much taxidermy in my house I could charge admission, but the fur in my house, there's like one of the black bear hunters from last year, David's got it done and back, and it's spread across the guest bed back there. And I forget about it sometimes when I go and walk in there before I turn the light on. I'm like, whoa, oh, stupid black bear. But I've got it spread across the bed so that when they pick it up, because they're going to have it taken and have a head insert put into it and make it a rug. So David just tans. And we got a whole bunch of meat for that. Like, we do a lot of stuff on barter. And so we got a whole bunch of bear meat for that, which it's nice. I like bear meat. So, but we're just a bumpkin family. Where am I going to put it? Oh, it normally vacates the area. Stuff doesn't stay here very long. I've got 5 pieces that are fixing to go to the neighboring county for the domestic violence and the Boys and Girls Club auctions to raise money for those agencies. So I'm sending 5 items over there. We sent 2 big beaver hoops, or a beaver hoop and something else last year. But David, the only beaver hoop that he's got done is the one he wants to keep. And he's like, I'm not giving him one that I spent. He put a lot of money into it. And so I said, well, I'll make the stuff. So I've made them some stuff to send. So we do a lot of auctions. We get hit up probably 7 or 8 times a year for auctions. We get hit up 4 or 5 times to go and do like just educational, just like exhibition, just talk to people about the animals and let the kids touch the fur and see the skulls and talk to them about the tribes and stuff like that. Because it's strange how many tribes there were between Kentucky and Tennessee, especially Tennessee, because Tennessee's got 3 very different regional landscapes. So it's got the east, which is mountainous, the middle, which is plateau leading down to the valley, and then the west, which is that Mississippi, Mississippi View or so. It's something. It's a basin basically. It's got a real fancy name. But it's amazing how many different tribes were in the area, because the Cherokee lived with the Chickasaws, the Chickamaugas, the Melungeons, the Iroquois, some of the Algonquins, the Quapaws, the one I can't say, the oh yeah, you know, I can't say it. But so there was just a whole cluster of so many different, and they didn't war really badly until the Spaniards and France and Britain got all up in everybody's craw, and then they chose sides and got right in the middle of the war, just like every other stupid human trick war. Which was really sad. But I'm from the Cherokee that when they tried to send everybody out west, which is why most of the Cherokee ended up in the Oklahoma and Arkansas and Texas and in that area, because they forced them to go. But I'm from the Lenape string that is from the Delaware string up north, and they went backwoods and said, we ain't moving, and they hid. And they married into the freed Irish slaves, the freed black slaves, people that had run off and hidden, the hidey holes in Appalachia. And so my background has got a little bit of everything in it, because everybody, that was hiding from all the troubles that, all these big rich people brought with them, they would just go and make little communities way back in the hills and hollers of Appalachia. And so you had, that's why you've got the Melungeons who have, they have Spanish, Italian, African, English, European. I mean, they've got everything, like every continent in their, in their genetics, in their DNA. And if you notice, if you go back a couple of videos on my mom's, when you see my mom singing, where my dad's playing guitar and being stupid, my mom's singing, you notice my mom's bluey skin. And it's just a touch that's in there. And the older she gets, the more bluey she gets from. And I take after my dad. I look a lot like my dad. I've got the high cheekbones, but I look like my Irish father. I look like I'm one potato famine away from death at all times. So, bye, Ashley. Etsy was a booger. Like, we tried it that one year. I had to pay all that money for the insurance. We tried it, and we made some people. We made some friends that still come down and find us, and they're like, "Are you going to be here? We haven't seen you in a while." And that was nice, but Etsy was just, there was always a problem. There was always a problem with the platform, always a problem with the square stuff. It was just always a problem. And then you would have like the big people, if they saw little people starting to get a name for themselves, the big people would start ordering stuff and leaving bad reviews or breaking your crap. And I would call them out on it. And then they didn't know that I was retired law enforcement. So I would track them down over the internet and be like, listen, you own 14 pages, you have 14 profiles, you have 7 websites, you own 3 physical businesses, get out my craw. And they would be like, oh crap. And I'd be like, yeah, get out my craw. Because they would want to squash the little people that just like me and David just made little authentic, really neat stuff. If you say cabin decor in a 5-county radius, they'll send you to my husband. They'll send you, because it's what we do a lot. It's just, and we're just making stuff. We just refuse to waste the animals, so we make stuff. And I have a warm house that's sealed and stays the same temperature all year round, that I keep a lot of stuff in. But mostly I just decorate my house until somebody comes through and goes, oh, I like that. Then I'm like, okay. But you can ask Gypsy, if you're one of my friends, if you come visit me, you never go home empty-handed. Ever. There's one thing on Etsy you want and can't find anywhere. What is it? Yeah, those people that, I mean, and they had like so much money. They had so many physical businesses, so many things going for them. And I'm like, why would you really take the time to squash a little person that's not going to take any of your business? It's like, we don't have the machinery and the ability to turn out the work you do. Why would you do that? Yeah, Gypsy's like, nope. She never leaves empty-handed. We always send something. And normally I'm the same way with her. When I go to her house, I look around my house and I've got lamps, and she sends me, if I'm not feeling good, she sends me cards, and I chop them up and put them in picture frames. And clothes, oh gosh, we go back and forth with everything. If we ever load up to go visit each other, like the vehicles are full because we're going back and forth. I've got a whole wall of basically nothing but Gypsy's art. So if you want to see some awesome watercolor art, oh my gosh, she needs to share more often. You need to send me some pictures so I can put some more in some of my videos and put up, because every one of my nurses and my physical therapists just stop and stare at that wall. And they're just like, wow. And I'm like, yeah, I have a friend that's really talented. I like the old lanterns, like the old ones that come off the railroads, because my papa was an engineer. I like those old railroad lanterns. They're really weird looking. I think they would be really pretty to do like moss and like those string of pearls succulents coming out, and put like fake cobwebs on them with like a a butterfly or a moth or something perched. I think I get an eerie vibe from it, but I was like, that would be a cool like corner lamp in an eerie kind of way. I just think that would be cool. Well, my house is teeny tiny and it's packed to the gills, and literally Haley's room, which is the guest bedroom right now, which is a mess because we're fixing to have a bathroom remodel. The adjuster was here this morning. He was a nice guy, by the way. He was a very nice guy. He was like, y'all have lived here 21 years and never done a claim. He's like, oh yeah, we're going to get you a nice bathroom. And I was like, aren't you a sweetie pie? So I get my handicap shower stall. Yay. Life. It just hits you smack between the eyes sometimes, doesn't it? I'm 46 and I should still be out there roaming the woods. Sometimes I wish I'd never worked at that wilderness boot camp so I wouldn't have been attacked by that axe. But then I think of all the kids I met and helped, and I'm like, I don't know, because I changed so many lives. They still find me, and I get Happy Mother's Day messages from these children that are now middle-aged, because I'm their bonus mother from Tennessee, because I lived with them in the woods for 2.5 years. So it's just like, yeah. So I've got one that lives in, what's that place over there where the water, the Spanish Riviera. I've got one that lives over that way. Her parents were really wealthy. She was just spoiled rotten. There wasn't nothing wrong with her. She's just spoiled rotten, never told no. We fixed that. And she just had her first child last year. And literally I was like one of the first 10 people she sent pictures to. And I was like, oh, I thought that was sweet. I know I'm gonna miss soaking in the tub, but I'm getting where it's such a hassle with my legs. And I know my legs are going quicker than I want to admit, but I'm still too belligerent to be in a wheelchair. But I mean, those are helping. And I don't think I'm gonna be on them long. I think I'll be off of them, and then when I have my spells, I have my flares, I'll be on them. But my big thing is I don't want to be in a wheelchair. No, you said that last year when you came and we put you in my pool. You said you'd not. I want a hot tub. I want a hot tub so bad I can't see straight, and it would really do great for me. It would do great things for me, especially during the winter. And David's like, well, I'd have to pour a concrete pad, do this, enclose it. And you're all like, well, why would you have to do all of that? Because we have black bear. And they will just plop their butts right in the middle of a hot tub and be like, thanks for putting this here. I really like it. And they'll mess everything up. And it just wouldn't be worth it unless we had an enclosure built, so that I wouldn't even mind to have an enclosure and have one of those inflatable ones. It's got the really nice inflatable ones. Because I've seen some people use those and they're really nice. And they have little seats in them and everything. I wouldn't mind to have one of those. But still, black bear, we'd have to have it enclosed because they'd smash that in 5 seconds. So I'm surprised I haven't had one in my pool yet, just to be quite honest. I've had one on my front porch. Opened the door and thought it was a tomcat, and it was a juvenile black bear eating my cat food, and we both kind of went at each other, and I said, get on out of here, and it flipped backwards and jumped over my patio chair and hit the barn lot. But we both saw each other, and we both went, and then I went, get on out of here. It flipped backwards and ran. Well, that's why I'm going to have the stall that the construction dude is getting. He's so tall, he hit his head on my ceiling fan. I was like, whoa, be careful up there, dude. He is getting one of those handicap showers that's got the seat built in the back. It's like a corner sides. It's like a L shape or triangle seat. I don't know. He showed me 2 of them. I said either one would be fine. But the thing is, the shower's so big, it has to come in like 4 or 5 pieces. I got the hiccups, and I don't know why, because I've had Gatorade and yogurt. I don't get it. But I'm excited to get that fixed. And he's fixing the bedroom floor in there at the same time. I don't know if we got lucky or crapped on, but where the water came out so quickly, and poor Sabrina was here when it happened. And so it wasn't her fault. It was like the pipe in the wall bust. I mean, it was going to happen no matter who turned the water on the next time. It was just going to happen. She didn't know how to turn water off. Women, everybody needs to know how to turn water off. But if you don't, that's okay. It had rained so much the night before. Our water thing was full, like 7 inches of water. So you just had to stick your hand down in there with pliers because you couldn't see where to put the water twisty thing. You just had to stick your hand down there with pliers and find it and clamp onto it and twist it. But we got cut out got the carpet and the pad and the carpet pad, and we got it cut out straight away, and because we knew that would make it worse. And when we turned fans on and started drying everything immediately, and it did pretty good, but it is a mess. But they're going to replace that whole floor, the whole bedroom floor, and they're going to put down my flooring for me, so Kim and I don't have to do that anymore. I mean, yeah, the deductible's a pain in the butt, but I mean, for the work we're getting done, I'm not going to complain, because I've needed a handicap shower for a couple of years now. This is going to help me a lot. It's going to make David not worry about me, because he works sometimes 7 days a week. And when I say I'm getting in the tub, he always is at work, like holding his breath, waiting for me to say, okay, I'm out. And I'm just so worried that I'm going to get in the tub one day and my legs are going to, I'm a big old gal, but I can get in and out of the tub fine when my body works. But if I get in the tub and my nerves short out and then I can't get out, my biggest fear is calling 911 and having somebody have to pull my naked behind out of my tub. I don't want to scar anyone like that. Did you know that tanning beds really help my nerves too? It calms them down, but I don't dare use a tanning bed because I just freckle and burn. Wouldn't that be nice? We only have 1 bathroom in this whole house. Wouldn't it be nice? I've told David several times he needs to plumb a bathroom out in his first shed. And he said, if I did that, I'd just get me a bed and live out there. And believe me, I think he probably would. But I've told him several times he needs to plumb him a bathroom out in his first shed. And then, when it comes to those cold, nasty weather, winter storms, he could just turn the water off and blow out the pipes. But he'd come in handy. He makes a mess. I make fun of him, tell him he's like Pigpen. Everywhere he goes, he leaves a mess. And so I'm constantly behind him sweeping or vacuuming or something. So that's just married life. 21 years. That's just married life. But I don't mind. I wouldn't have anything. Like he adopted my children, raised my kids. And I'm having massive grandma withdrawals because the new grandbabies, the new twins are here, new great, but they're 7 hours away from me. So when my health gets better, I might get to see them. I sent them a poem last night, a lullaby night poem last night, and I'm trying to teach them Cherokee words. So I call them my little usties, which is baby, and then every time I leave them a message, I tell them at the end "Gagayui," which means I love you. So I'm trying to teach them Cherokee language, but I don't know if it'll stick or not. But I wouldn't have anything without Dave, because my first husband just hit sorry and kept going. He ran trash like a sorriest walker hound dog you ever seen. And I guess I was lucky that I was his first wife, because now he's on his third. And so at least I didn't see the repetitious behavior and still far for it. At least I had hopes that he was a decent person. Everybody else that's married him been like, y'all knew he had a bad habit. But without David, my kids were safe. They were cared for. They were raised by a fine man that taught them a lot of great skills. Both my kids have been able to tackle the world because we raised them to be strong and independent. My daughter went to vet school at UT and graduated with a 4.0. He worked his butt off. I sunk my retirement so she could go there. That was an expensive school. The last 3 years she paid for with her grants and stuff, and she had jobs and stuff. She tutored. She was so smart. She's just so freaking smart. She loves to read. She takes after me, but she's way smarter than me. Um, but David taught Lane a lot about logging in the woods and how to cut timber. And Lane's an arborist now, so he runs a tree service company for a man, and he is the only like certified so many levels arborist in the entire county. So people want him all the time. He's super talented. He also does chainsaw carving. He's super talented. He's being a little shit turd right now, but he's super talented, and I love my little laner bug. I miss him terribly since he's got his own family and he's got his head shoved up tiny, and I don't see him very often. And it hurts me because that was, I mean, he was my little buddy. That was my little shadow, and I miss him. And I don't get to see him. I don't get as much family time as I want anymore. And mostly it's just because everybody's at that stage in their new adult life where they're establishing their own personalities and their own, and I'm just like, what? It don't mean you have to run away from me. You can establish your own crap, but you can still come visit, you know. But that's just the I was in that stupid age range too. I did the same stupid thing. So I'm just sitting here going, okay, well, when you pull your head out of your butt, I'll be here. Hi, Star. Oh, just a year and a half ago. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's very hard to find a good man. My first husband was sorry. And that was just my stupidity. I was naive and very I was not savvy. We'll just say that. And I come back home ready to just raise my kids and be mom and dad both because by golly, I'm a hefty woman. I can hunt, fish, do it all. And I was just going to raise my kids to be mom and dad both. And then the Lord put David right smack in front of me. And I thought, well, we're going to have a talk about time in one day because I don't find the humor in that. But if I had not found David, I would not have remarried. And, I didn't want to have, I'm poor as a church mouse, but I didn't want money. I didn't, after I'd been through all that with my ex-husband, I wanted somebody that was going to stay, raise my children. And even on days he didn't like me, he still loved me and we would work through it. And that's what I got. So success for me is not measured in money. I made a lot of money when I supervised murderers for the state. I don't think I was successful. I think I got lucky and found a few people that really wanted to change their lives, but like I said the other day, I wished I'd never went to college, never spent all that time, never knew all the things about society that I know. Wish I did not have autopsy and pre-sentence investigative photos stuck in my head. Wished I'd never had to read some of the police reports about sex offenders that I had to read to write reports for the courts. I've got a lot crammed in here that no normal person should have to compartmentalize. And I worked my butt off for 6 years, and then 10 months after I got my master's, they diagnosed me. And I was that close to going into forensic psychology for the entire state of Tennessee's penal system. I was going to help psychologically revamp the assessment process. I was going to make a butt ton of money. And as soon as the Department of Corrections found out that I was diagnosed with what I was diagnosed with, and they knew I was going to get worse really quickly, they pushed me out. And when I say pushed me out, I mean forcefully manipulated me into horrible positions to where they were trying to tarnish my name. And I was like, excuse me, no, you're not going to get the ability to do that. So I went from being the most decorated officer to being the most hated officer for a condition that I could not even control. Because I got attacked with an axe when I worked at the wilderness boot camps, and it damaged my nervous system. Gypsy's alone or the hates being alone. Well, I don't think you hate being alone. I think sometimes you find some solace in your being alone. And you don't know which solace you want, the solace of company or the solace of leave me the heck alone. Because I'm the same way. See, that's where men,
I'm here to tell you, if you were to put 100 men right beside me and put a pasture of cattle or a pasture of quarter horses in front of me, I would have all the cattle or all the horses like lined up for confirmation points. I'd know which one I'd pick if I take the top 5, and I'd be like, look at the cut on that beef right there. Look at the butt on that quarter horse. I would not be paying any attention to the man whatsoever. I'm one of them. The only reason David caught my attention is his brother was supposed to put a radiator in my Mitsubishi Montero. I love that thing. It would go anywhere. And I had enough money for the radiator, but off the labor because my ex-husband never paid child support. He was the gift that kept on giving. Let me just tell you, he's just, if I could just, irritating. Anyway, and his brother had to work late. He called and he said, I told my brother about your situation, which ticked me off. I was like, great, just tell everybody I'm a divorcee and my stupid ex-husband won't help take care of his children, and I'm cleaning timeshares and trying to go to college, and I was pissed. And David showed up and he was like, I'm supposed to fix a radiator right when I had learned that a check had bounced. The only check that my ex-husband ever wrote for child support had bounced. I was having a minor meltdown. Lane was tiny. He had a Scooby-Doo fishing pole. He didn't have any front teeth at the time. He goes, I want to go fishing at the pond. And I told him we'd go fishing, and then I was having a meltdown. So he was mad. He had his overalls on, his hat on. He had his Scooby-Doo pole, and he wanted to go fishing at the pond. Mom, I want to go fishing at the pond. And he was mad at me. Haley was having a freak-out moment because she was still, just 2.5 and feeling she was 2. She was feeling my anxiety. She was freaking out. I couldn't get her to take a nap. He walked in on all that and was like, are you okay? And I was like, do I look okay? I like snapped at him. And he was like, I'm here to put the radiator in. And I'm like, well, you know what it looks like. I was done. At the moment, I was like, it was one of those, snap a neck kind of days. And he looked at Dave or at Lane and he goes, is he talking about that pond? And I was like, what other pond do you see? And he's like, I'll take the kid fishing. You just get yourself composed. He's like, it's okay. And he took Lane fishing. Lane caught through 2 or 3 bluegills. He was happy. He come back up. He was happy. He gone fishing at the pond. And I got Haley down for a nap. And I was just sitting there kind of defeated at the moment just because I hadn't seen my ex-husband in 9 months. He had run off with that woman, the temp agency secretary. That didn't work out. Anyway, and he had run off with that woman. And then the first check he had written me for child support had just bounced. And I was just like, this is a problem I could take care of, but I would probably end up wearing stripes. And then David he's like, I'm going to work on the vehicle now. He's like, he caught him some fish. He's good. And Lane turned around and was like, bye, Dave. He was just 3, bye, Dave. My kids are just 1 year, 1 month, 1 day apart. And he put his fishing pole up and he was just happy. He took his little hat off and he went to watch cartoons. He was fine then because he'd gone fishing at the pond. And David went to work at the radio. He just had got the hood up and started taking stuff out. And we heard a car. And I was in the sunroom, and I went to the back porch, and I could turn around, and I could see, but nobody could see me. And it was my ex-husband, and he had brought that woman. Oh, Lord. I was just trying to just not attack anybody. I was so mad. I was like, you brought her here. The parenting plans is you're not supposed to have them around her. Do I pick a fight about this or what? And then he said, well, I'm just taking her back to mom and dad's, and then she's taking the car. I'm staying with him at my mom and dad's this weekend. And I don't think he did, but that's what his story was. But anyway, he showed up and I was like, I haven't seen you in 9 months. He's like, well, I'm here to get the kids. And technically, he's like, I counted on the calendar. It's my weekend. You can't tell me no. And I'm like, you haven't seen him in 9 months, bud. And he was like, well, if you tell me no, then I'm going to sue you. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, well, you better go tell him you're taking him. And you better go break the news to him and pack their bags because I ain't helping you with none of this crap. So I said they're children, not dogs. They need to, have this planned out and they need to be prepared. And he went upstairs to pack bags for the kids because we was in that 3-story farmhouse. And I was sitting on the back porch around the corner where nobody could see me, trying to not have a nervous breakdown. And all of a sudden I hear that other car door, and then I hear like heels, and I'm like, why is she getting out of the car? Don't come near me. I was like, don't come near me. And she stopped at my vehicle where David's working, and she said, well, I guess you're the new man. And he said, no, ma'am, I don't think she particularly cares for anybody. If you know how David talks, you can hear that in David's voice right now. And she goes, well, it's just as good. Any man will leave a woman like that. And she's old, like she was 3 or 4 years older than me. So I'm sitting there going, a woman like what? You know, pure as the driven snow till I met that sorry piece of crap, you know? And David was like, ma'am. And she goes, oh, you know, she just didn't take care of herself after she had the kids. And he said, why, I figure she's probably taking care of the kids. You know, he's just trying to ignore her and work and stuff. And then she goes, well, any man, when another prettier woman walks by them and gives them attention, any man will leave a woman like that for one like me. And he's kind of looked at her. He's like, ma'am, I'm peeking around the back of the porch where I can't be seen. I'm trying to watch this interaction now because I'm really interested in what's going on. Because I'm wondering who's going to be crying here in a minute, you know. And he goes, ma'am. And she goes, well, even you have to admit I am prettier than her. And I'm sitting there going, you are 3 or almost 4 years older than me. You ought to act like it. Lord, you ain't got no manners, woman. And he put his wrench down and pulled his hat sideways, which now, you know, is him thinking. He put his hands down on the rim of the hood there, and he goes, ma'am, woman going to a home with 2 babies and busted up. There ain't nothing pretty about you. There ain't a thing pretty about you. And then he twisted his hat back around, grabbed his wrench, and went back to work. And she went off crying back to the car. And I thought, I better pay attention to this man. And I still got mad at him because he left his phone and $20 after he fixed my radiator, because I had to go to Wilson County the next day, and he left a phone and $20. And I got mad. And I called his brother, and I was like, you tell your brother that I don't need his help. He's not taking advantage of a divorced woman. So he's like, oh, no, he's just, the radiator hoses take about 3 days to know if they're going to leak or stay really good. He didn't want you to get off somewhere and not have a way to call or have money for a cab because it was summer heat, you know, and have the kids with you. And I thought, still, don't do this to me, you know. And then he just started showing up at church, community events. And then when I finally talked to him, we had a lot in common. We really liked each other. And he never asked me to go on a date, per se, without the kids. He would always say, let's meet my brother and his wife and their kid, and let's just all eat. We'll all drive separate. We'll all eat together. He's like, I'll pay for it. If he ever took me and the kids were with me, because I always had kids, he paid for me and the kids. He never would let me pay. But he never made it seem like a date. He was just letting the kids get to know him without the kids feeling the pressure of anything. They just thought they were getting to play with one of their friends and see, you know, a couple of my friends. And then one day he was the deputy. He was working the fair, and I had taken the kids up to the dog show because we wanted to hear the treeing competition. Listen, if you're podunk, you understand that. And he had walked us back to my vehicle safely because it was really dark and I had 2 little tiny kids. He's like, I'll walk you back to your vehicle. And he had walked us back. And Lane got halfway through the cars and needed to pee like any toddler. And he took him over and like hit him so he could pee. And my little boy always had a mouth on him. He's definitely my child. And he's helping put everybody in car seats, and he's just pitching in like he's already part of the family, you know. And I'm putting one in the car seat, and he's putting Lane in the car seat, and we're kind of grinning across the back seat because we're both putting kids in the car seat. It's just so funny. And I walked around, and Lane always rode behind me so I could hand him stuff in the car. And he always rode behind me, and I had to keep an eye on Haley because she was the one that would try to get away with something. And he come around to stand. I walked around. He come around to stand by me. I opened my door and turned to talk to him, and he had just shut the door. And of course, the windows were down for the kids so they could stay cool. It was a hot summer night. And he was talking to me, and Lane goes, just kiss her and get it over with. And I thought, oh, these children pick up on a lot, don't they? Because I had never been alone with him really until then. He'd walked us to our car. We'd always been with family or something. And we both got a good giggle at that. And he goes, "Nah," he said, "I think I'm going to go finish the dog show." He said, "I just want to make sure you got home okay." He said, "Let me know when you get home." And Lane took his hat off and he's running his hand through his hair. And he goes, "Mom, I think you like him more than you say you do." And I was like, his 3-year-old's like, got a better grasp on things than I do right now. And 6 months later, we finally got to go on like a solo date. Because I always had the kids. My ex-husband never came about the kids, so I always had the kids. We finally got to go on a solo date, and he took me to Crossville for dinner. And he was nervous, and I was like, "Why are you?" He even like he was fumbling, and he was constantly had his hand in his. I said, "Well, did you forget your wallet or something?" He said, "No." He said, "Something's about to fall out of my pocket," you know. And he was having the hardest time driving. I said, "Just clutch it. I'll put it in third." "What is wrong with you?" Because he was fumbling with something. Well, he was trying to build up the confidence to ask me to marry him. And finally, under one of the red lights, right in the middle of Crossville, Tennessee, I said, "What is up with you?" I was like, "You're just weird tonight. What's going on?" And being Dave, he just kind of slumped in the driver's seat, and he was like, "Well, I'm trying to find a way to say I'd like to tie a ribbon on you and make you mine." And I was like, "Was that like the most Southern proposal I've ever heard in my life?" Or he was like, "Well, yeah, I kind of like to keep you around." And I was like, "Well, that's nice. I'd like to keep you around too." And I said, "But," and he goes, "Well, will you?" I said, "Stop." I said, "I've already been left high and dry once with 2 toddlers. And if it happens again, I will have homicidal tendencies, and I do know how to operate every firearm you own. Do you wish to continue this conversation?" And he laughed and said, "Well, yeah." And we got married literally, gosh, like 6 weeks later, we got married. He had already been scouting out land, and he was already prepared. He's like a Boy Scout. He's literally a Boy Scout. He'd already been scouting out land. He wanted a place where the kids could pick from 3 schools. He was thinking about things I wasn't thinking about. And even though I don't like my neighbors, it's really a well-positioned place because we are literally even distance from every school in the county except for the Southern high school. So my kids could have picked from every school in the county, and we'd have been right in a space where they could have been gone to any of them. And we always kept them in the best ones. And he'd even run for constable in the area. Come out here winning. And but after he got that, he was a rescue squad member too. So after that, when he got 2 kids, he kind of slowed down on that front and just turned into a dad. And that's one thing my ex-husband never turned into. He never turned into a dad. So I have a very special husband. So now for all the new people in here, now you know the story of my husband. And we got married in December 7th, because if you put your wedding anniversary on today, something went boom, men remember. And he's never forgotten our anniversary. And he adopted the kids in March because the behavior of my ex-husband, he co-petitioned, he called the state and started the process. He wanted his rights terminated because he didn't want to go to jail on a child support attachment. People. Things you never think happen. And so we paid for the adoption. And when we got taken to the judge's chambers to handle the adoption, he knew my husband. And he looked at my ex-husband. He's like, "I don't know what sack of sorry you are." He's like, "But I know that young man, and I know he'll raise those kids." And he waived the 6-month wait period and slapped a gavel on the adoption that day. And so David adopted the kids literally like 4 months after we got married. So he became a daddy really quick. So, and most people don't know that the kids aren't his because he raised them so long, they took characteristics after him and behaviors after him. So, and my ex-husband is as far away as possible from me at all times. So nobody ever met him. So Yeah, he's a good daddy. Pin them together. Okay, hang on. We're talking about livestock here. There was a private school that somebody went after, and it was basically if you sit at home and you hate yourself, you can talk yourself into hating anyone else. Because if you give yourself the approval to hate yourself, then you can hate anyone else. If you give your approval to love yourself, you can love anyone else. But if you sit at home and you focus on hate is what will happen. And that sadly was what happened there. I got to keep her. He's a good man. 21 years later, here we are. So that's my son. Got all the skills from him. My son's talented. I called him my little redneck savant. He could fix anything. He took our tiller apart one time to make a motorcycle. I said, put my Troy belt tiller back together. We're going to have a problem. I come home, had 3 hours to cook dinner before I had to go out and do home visits because I helped to supervise the sex offenders too. That was fun. That was real fun. And there was smoke in my backyard, and I thought, who's got a fire in my backyard? He was smelting. He had made a makeshift forge, was smelting iron to make his own knife. I said, okay, you just go on with your bad self. He learned to weld when he was 12. He put a dually truck back together in 2.5 years that had weeds growing through it in the farm lot. And in 2.5 years had rebuilt everything and drove it. It's still going on the roads now. I pass it every once in a while, and I'm like, holy crap, that thing's still going. But he does chainsaw carving now and is an arborist. So he harnesses up and climbs up trees and takes them apart. And, should have known that because when he was little, I had to stop him. He broke his arm because he was just rambunctious. He was into everything. He broke his arm. The day after he broke his arm, the doctor called the house to check on him. And I had to lay the phone down and say, hang on, let me go grab him. Because he was on the back of the couch knowing I was stuck to the phone in the phone cord back in the days when they had cords. I was stuck to that phone. He saw that I was stuck to that phone, got up on back of the couch, did a Tarzan yell, and was fixing to bail off. And I had to go catch him because he'd already broke one arm. And I was like, child, chill. But he was always a rambunctious, going to try everything, inquisitive child. And I had to really keep an eye on him because he was into everything. And then he got into ROTC and he got into rappelling. He was in one of the teams, I don't know, Rangers or something that did the running and the rappelling and the like 30-mile runs and stuff like that. You see him running with the water packs on the roads and stuff. He was in that. So I was an ROTC mom, and he was rappelling off that big tower every other day. So I got really used to seeing him up really high spots. So it didn't scare me when he started learning the trade of an arborist. I'd seen him fell timber for most of his life because he just was right along David doing that. But then when he harnessed up and gaffed the first time, I was like, just please don't fall because them gaffs are sharp and don't fall. And I've got a video on somewhere back in, he's taken a pine tree, to delimit a pine tree to let it die so we can lay it down the next spring. And he's up the tree, delimit it, and he has to stop and take a phone call. And he's like, the reception's much better up here, Mom, than in the house. And I was like, obviously, you're 50 foot up a tree. But he does amazing work. And he's got the skill of like a 55, 60-year-old man. And he's just a little old soul. And my daughter is a tiny little thing. But she is smart. And if a horse or a cow sasses her, she will make them wish they didn't. And it's amazing because she's so tiny. But all her teachers were always so impressed with her livestock skills. But then they would meet me and they'd be like, oh. Because when she gets mad, I come out of her. And so this little tiny thing turns into a very big, buxom woman when she gets mad. And I was like, yeah, that's me coming out of her. Sorry. I look like security when I follow my daughter around because she looks like a Miss America pageant person. And I'm like, I don't know how I had such a pretty kid. I don't know. But I'm like all tatted up and following her, and she's, you know, blonde hair down to her waist and gorgeous, you know. But she just had twins, so I got 3 grandbabies now. 3. I think that's all I'm going to get to. I think three's all I'm going to get. I have to say, I have 3 of the most gorgeous grandbabies. I can't share anything with, you know, online about them or anything, but I can tell you that they're doing great. They're sleeping good and everything's going good. And I'm sad that they're so far away from their other cousin. But she's got a huge extended family down there with her husband's family, so they'll be fine. But I hate that, you know, but they'll see each other. But I just hate that they're so far away, but especially because I can't just pick up and go visit because of my stupid health. So I'm not going to get to see him as much as possible. That's why I've been reading nighttime stories to send to him, and then she puts it on the phone and plays it for him. And we've been doing this since she was pregnant, so that's what I do. Which one of your tattoos hurt the most? Tattoos are therapy for me. They don't hurt. I fall asleep in the tattoo chair. I got half my back done too. It says one joy scatters 100 griefs. Well, you can't see it because this thing. But I got stars and a horse and a lariat heart, and it says one joy scatters 100 griefs in like old English font because that's how I roll. And then I've got a Freddie Mercury. This one actually has been in a media coverage in Puerto Rico from where I went to the Queen conventions. And then I've got my granddaughter's name. I've got to put the other ones. I think I'm going to put the twins back here somewhere right there. That's going to hurt like a booger, but I'm waiting to get some weight off here, finish it, but I've got a bird for everybody that passed away on my caseload when I was an officer. I've got Freddie Mercury's signature thing right there. I've got Brian May and Brian May's signature. I've got an arrow that me and my best friend have. I've got a Phoebe. I've got a barn swallow that says Phoebe, and that's for Peter Freestone. We became really good friends 8-9 years ago. Oh my gosh, time flies. Oh, and he lives in the Czech Republic, but he's a sweetheart. We keep up. Chris Cornell, the Mercury sign, another Freddie, and a Q with a crown on it. And we started doing the shading and stuff, and my tattoo artist got sick 3 years ago, and 2 years ago passed away of pancreatic cancer. And I miss him. He was the most talented. Like, he freehanded everything. And then this is the only thing I've gotten since he's passed was my granddaughter's name. And he even did the pizza oven lighting like on their concerts. So that's Freddie holding the microphone. And this was like the year before he got sick. In his leather coat. It's my favorite picture of him. So I have so much ink on me. I have half my back done and my left arm. And I have a few others that I can't share, but I got a lot of ink time on me. And they say that normally people that have tattoos are like really high anxiety and poor decision makers. And I'm like, I do not fit that profile at all because master's in psychology, had a very solid career until my health failed. And any problem that is handed to me, I just fix it and walk on. So I'm like, y'all did not nail me on that one. So, but Kim and I went to get an MRI one day, and Kim went with me, and they couldn't do the MRI. I kept lighting up, and it kept burning my back. Apparently, I had something in me, probably a piece of barbed wire. Who knows? God knows what's in there. Anyway, they couldn't do it. So I had to go to a special place in Knoxville to have it done. And they got it done okay. But we were all the way down to Cookville, and Kim looked at me and said, well, what do we do now? Because we drove an hour and a half, and I said, we go get tattoos. And we went, and we both got tattoos. And I had a jacket on, and she had just a T-shirt on, but most of her tattoos then you couldn't see. And the guy made her lay down on a table to do this little tiny tattoo. And I had a jacket on. He goes, okay, ma'am. He's like, and don't worry. He's like, this table's sturdy. And I was like, I ain't laying on that table, son. And he's like, oh, no, you're really for your first stability and for me. And I took my jacket off, and he goes, oh, never mind, just sit still. And I just sat there and held my arm out for him and braced it, and he did that. I was like, I'm not going to move. Guarantee you I might fall asleep. But did you? I didn't know you designed that. Oh, you might have told me that. I think we might have talked about that. I've got half my back done, so. But now I tell everybody I didn't get tattoos until I got my master's, and then I was too valuable for anyone to ditch me. And I just made sure to talk to the parole board and the judge and make sure what was approved. And I stayed within the realms. And then when I left and because of my health, I just was like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and ink out. So and I almost got my arm done but he was the most talented. His name was, I called him Harley, but his name was David, but I called him Harley. And I thought I called him Harley because if I called him David, I would have been talking about two Daves all the time and it would have gotten so confusing. And he even did guitar lessons for Lane, and he was such a great guy. He was a great musician, and he knew he was sick and dying, but he told me he wasn't feeling well, but he told me if I wanted anything else, I needed to get in quick because he didn't think he was going to keep his shop for very long. And I thought, are you going to move? Are you going to move it? Because he drove like an hour and a half to his shop, and that was his hint, and I didn't catch it. And I wanted to go down there and get some more stuff done and get some more shading done because he was just so good. His shading is spot on, buddy. I mean, it's just spot on. And he knew he was sick. And how do I know he was sick? Because he had already signed all the paperwork for every healthy organ he had to be harvested and given to someone else. And he saved 8 lives when he passed. And that's just the kind of man he was. Inked out, and people would have crossed the street to walk away from him. But he was the kindest and sweetest man. And he literally signed, he said, take anything that can be harvested that can help someone else, take it. And I thought, man, what a great guy. I mean, but I knew he was a good guy. He was such a good guy. I started out with one tiny horse silhouette, and then I ended up with about 37 hours on me, but it was freehand, so it was slow going. My back, I had the horse and stars, but I had all the font done in one setting. And I had it done prison house style. I knew a guy that had been in prison for a long time, did tattoos. And I said, you still got your, can you still throw a prison house gun together? He said, well, yeah. I said, okay. I said, bring everything to the house one day. I said, well, I'll pay you for the sterile needles. And I said, I'll buy the ink because I wanted a special kind of ink. And I said, I'll pay you to do my back. And he was like, okay. And so then when all the guys would come out and sit down, because I'd have to photograph all their tattoos. I had a lookbook of them. And they'd be like, I had this done in prison, it hurt 3 times as bad. I was like, no, it didn't. I had my back done prison house style. It didn't. It's just slower. It don't hurt no worse. It's just slower. After I had that done, it was like 6 hours to get it done because it's lettering. And I went and watched a double matinee with my friend in the neighboring county. I'm just apparently immune to tattoos. Yeah, he's when you start going to your face, I start having issues, and even as much as I like Tom McDonald, I'm like, oh man, I wish you hadn't tattooed your face. Just because, number one, reaching people, that first impression is important. That's why I left my right arm plain, because when I shake hands, this is the first thing they see. And so they don't automatically, get shocked by my tattoos. But yeah, I don't know. And some of the tattoos he gets are just mean-spirited. Like my tattoos are kind of like a milestone in my life. Of like when I met Phoebe, when Chris Cornell died, when I went to the Queen concert, when I went to my first convention, when I got hurt and knew I was, done with my career, it's kind of a map of my life, grandbabies and stuff like that. But, like when you get spiteful tattoos, that's one of those things that's like, ugh, think about that one. But, I've never had the desire to get any of mine removed. But I think it's because I put so much thought into them. Because, I don't know, I've never had the desire to get any of them removed. And I'm proud to show them to people. I'm proud to tell them what they mean to me. And, Queen's music, when I was a kid, I was born in the wrong era. It got me through a bunch of crap. It shaped me as a person. It gave me a heck of a vocabulary and a love for literature and a love to learn about people different from me. And so that really changed me as being a little girl from Appalachia. It really changed me. So I'm very proud, very proud to rep for Freddie. And then when I met Peter Freestone, and we just hit it off and became friends. He had locked himself out of his hotel room at the convention center. And I made fun of him. And we just became really good friends. And he actually messaged me the other night to check on the twins. He's a sweetie pie. I call him Phoebe because Freddie called him Phoebe. I call him Phoebe. Yeah, you have to go get them touched up every once in a while. I found a new guy now that can do the touch ups, but yeah, I take really good care of mine and really good care of my skin because I don't want them to screw up. So now, see, I'm going to have to double check that next time you're down because I know we've talked about it, but I can't for the life of me remember seeing. But I know we've talked about it, so it means I've probably seen it. So that makes me, I'm like, did I like go blank somewhere? I don't know. Probably I did. Okay. Well, I'm going to put this crap up. I'm feeling better. I'm talking more. I'm getting, my hand dexterity is getting better. You've seen me sitting here fiddling with my hair. I think tomorrow is going to be a good craft day. I feel it in my bones. I'm going to finish this dream catcher. I think I'm going to be able to work the drill and drill through the bones tomorrow. So we might make some deer jaw wind chimes and might start some other stuff. Literally, I want to be doing some cotton spun stuff, but I've got to get a few things finished before I start something else because focus, Elizabeth, focus. Yeah, TEMJ has the whole kit. Just make sure in your state you follow the laws and do your apprenticeship and get your, because every state's different. But if you want to know who done my last tattoo, it was, if you go to Amanda Chaotic on Instagram, she's got a really good shop. And I go to her and her husband do tattoos. She's awesome with color. Like, she's awesome with color. But because I'm a retired parole officer, I like big, black, stencily, angry-looking tattoos. It's just who I am. But then when people meet me, they're like, you're so sweet. Your tattoos are so angry looking. But actually, my tattoos are very sweet themselves. They're Freddie and Queen and stuff. But they're black and they scare people. And I'm like, I just don't like color. So, yeah, they've got the whole gun, everything. But you just have to remember that each state has different laws and different time frames and how long you have to apprentice and all that other crap. Now, the Amanda Chaotic, she even does the makeup tattooing. Well, she's like, I can put eyeliner on it because I can't put eyeliner on to save my life. And she's like, I can tattoo it on you, Elizabeth. And she's like, I can tattoo your eyebrows back on. And I'm like, that's tempting because that pepper spray event in that Joe Wright where I lost my eyebrows, most of them, because it blistered them off. Pepper spray, 3 cans. Oh, God, I was in it for 25 minutes. But she's like, I can put your eyebrows back on. And I'm like, that's tempting. But I know that eyebrows change. So I don't think I want to do that because then in 10 years, they won't match the fad. At least I can just tell people, sorry, I was a parole officer, got caught in a riot. But yeah, they're black like my soul. I tell everybody, because I love black. Black is my color. Black and gray is my go-to color. People are like, why do you like black so much? I'm like, it's the color of my soul. But I'm a really bubbly person, and then they meet me and they see my tattoos, and they're like, I guess they don't suit me or something. I don't know. My mom and dad have got used to them now. And actually, my dad was sitting next to me, last summer, and he took his camera and took a picture of my arm. And I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm sending this to everybody. And he did. He sent it to his friends that run the pharmacy. I was like, if you were ever mean to me when I'm in the nursing home, I'll make my daughter beat you up. And I'm like, Dad. But if y'all know my dad now, so he was just completely having fun with that. I wouldn't care to do the eyeliner. Like, I would probably come closer to doing the eyeliner than I would the eyebrows, because eyeliner is just one of those things that doesn't really change, You can darken, it's, if you just get the plain done. But I don't know. I mean, the eyebrows, I wish I did still have my eyebrows. But, I can't change that now. But there was 5 of us ended up in the hospital with chemical pneumonia after that. That was, oh, look, that's cute. I like coming in. But yeah, it was a rough time. But I used to have I'm going to find a picture, prove to y'all that I had the prettiest eyebrows. The prettiest bushy arched eyebrows. I was very mad about losing them. Very mad. Very, very mad. The criminal court judge thought it was hilarious. I did not. Of course, he still picks on me today. He still calls and checks on me, and he likes to pick on me. So, oh, God. Okay, I'm going to get crap put up. Eyebrows, eyelashes. Well, I used to have gorgeous eyebrows, but I don't have anymore. I'll find you the picture, and I'll show you my gorgeous eyebrows. I don't have them anymore. I'm going to put these clothes up. Tomorrow I'm going to get up and actually I put a look together from, well, I have a look together today for my TEMJ, but it's like relaxed clothes. But I'm going to put a look together with one of the dresses I bought last week and do like a little TEMJ lookbook again tomorrow. And then it's finish everything that's in this freaking kitchen so that then I can get to my craft room because I'm over the kitchen. I've crafted in here for 3 years, and all of it was because when I got sick, 2 years. When I got sick 3 years ago, I had my craft room clean, but when I got sick, I was in the hospital like for a year and a half in and out with pancreatitis because of the nerve issues with this stupid disorder. And everything that David didn't know what to do with, he put it in my craft room. And so there's still like, most of it's my craft room and like my sewing table and stuff, but then there's like fur and trapper magazines and taxidermy, and I'm like, I just gotta clean a whole bunch of this crap out. And then when we shipped stuff, when he had the Etsy store that year that we had to pay, I had to pay that big bunch every month for that super expensive insurance, and we had to ship stuff, and so we kept a bunch of boxes and shipping stuff. So a lot of it's just shipping stuff that needs to be tossed. But Lord, I've gotten about a third of the way through it, so I'm getting there. But every time I do a TEMJ haul, I have a new mess to clean up. So, but I think after these craft stuff comes in, I don't really have a lot coming in after that. Like I've ordered some frankincense and honeysuckle oil the other day, but like I've not been ordering like I normally do. So it just has taken TEMJ a lot longer to get stuff to me. So I think I know it sounds really bad, but I think I'm kind of done until David needs new work shoes. Like he wears those really funky bottom tennis shoes on the concrete. So he needs new work shoes, or I need new craft stuff. So I kind of think I'm done. Which sounds really weird, but I kind of think I'm done. And we're just going to go back to crafting. And then when I need to do something, I'll show you what I buy when I need to, make an order. But I think I'm kind of done. My hair is super shiny, and it is from the Rosino Rice shampoo and the Pure conditioner from TEMJ. Because y'all saw how nasty it looked before I washed it last night. When it was up in that weird bun. And yeah, that conditioner makes it just as beautiful as anything. But it's amazing how my hair can go from looking absolutely dumpy to gorgeous when I just use like 2 products from TEMJ. I use that Rosino Rice shampoo in a bar form and that Pure in a gold tube conditioner, 8-second miracle conditioner. It's amazing. Just wait though, 3 days of buns and before I wash it again, and it'll look like heck again. We'll get there again. It'll look like heck again. Probably tomorrow to go back up in a bun or braids. So be prepared. Tomorrow I'll probably look like heck. So I may do a Viking hairstyle tomorrow. I don't know. David has had great fun with calling me Uhtred, son of Uhtred, the last few days. So, of course, I give him the whole idea because I said it about myself, and then he went and looked it up on the Netflix and was like, ha ha ha, Uhtred, son of Uhtred. So that's been the joke the last few days. They're walking shoes like. Oh, Mary, thank you. They're walking shoes to live. Well, David likes those really funny with the big, thick soles because he's on concrete for like 12, 14 hours. And so he's either in muck boots, tactical army boots, or those funky tennis shoes for work. That's like the man owns 3 pairs of shoes. That's all he'll ever have. Like he has one set of cowboy boots tucked away for like weddings and funerals. He doesn't like physical things. He if I did not lay out other clothes or remind him he would wear the same shirts and t-shirt every time it comes to the wash. He just put it right back on because he's thinking about trapping, thinking about tanning, thinking about work, trapping, tanning, work, trapping, tanning, work. And I'm like, I've got 5,000 things to think about. I wish I could do that. But now his right elbow is really swollen right. He's got bursitis really bad in his right elbow. So keep praying for him. It's coming down. He started letting me put bentonite clay and that casserole on it and wrap it at night, and it's coming down. But man, it's swelled up probably the worst I've seen it in 5 or 6 years. And so he's got a bunch of stuff that he's got to flesh to get tanned. And I said, well, listen, if I'm having a good hand day, you can sit me a chair and lower your fleshing beam and I'll help, because I used to do all that stuff too. But I'm not sure how much I can get done in today because I am so much slower than I used to be. Now, when I was 24, I could hang up a 400-pound hog, crank it up, gut it, cave it, saw its head off, and roll its body on the tracks into the walk-in freezer in like 14 minutes. I was good. And I do like a dozen a day after the hunts. And now I'm like, some days I can't even braid my own hair. So it's stupid disorder. But now if I'm having a good hand day, I don't mind to help. But you don't know it's a good hand day until you try. And it's those knives, flesh knives are sharp. And sometimes in some areas you even use scalpels. And I'm like, I don't want to find out I'm having a bad hand day if I have a scalpel in my hand. So I used to do throwing knives and everything. And now I'm on magic shoes. Life. I'm still a really good shot. And even with a crossbow. But I certainly can't run away from anything anymore. I'm going to have to ugly it down. Which I don't think is a problem. But yeah. It took them 6 years to diagnose me. That's why I got so bad so quick. By the time they diagnosed me, there was no way to regenerate the nerves or save and stop the damage. So now it is spreading. This disorder in my nervous system is spreading through my organs. And it's gotten up to my digestive tract and my pancreas. I'm just hoping it stays away from my heart. Because most people go straight to their heart. Mine does not seem to be affected by it yet. So, you know. I'll give my legs up if I can just keep my heart. If I have to be wheelchair bound to see my grandkids, that's okay. I'll be wheelchair bound to see my grandkids. But I'm very prideful. So they told me I'd be in a wheelchair like 7, 8 years ago permanently. And I'm not. I refuse to be. But it takes a whole lot of effort on my behalf. And some days, those things. So. I always say, oh, he wasn't able to take his treatment. I think about him a lot. I worry about him. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I have forwarded a bunch of stuff to my nurse. And I've talked to my insurance twice. And they're open to certain options. Some things they're not. But then that burning foundation is a complete possibility. But I know that they pretty much told me last week when I talked to them, they pretty much would approve the Ohio clinic if I could pay for my travel and stay. And I was like, okay. Well, I've got friends that will go with me, and I've got a friend that lives in Cleveland that I can bunk with, you know, but a night or two of a hotel is not super bad, you know. So there's a complete possibility for the Ohio clinic, but the other options I have forwarded to my nurse and my team, and we're sifting through them and looking at them. And I don't have this, like, if you look at the people that have it really super severe, I don't have, like, it doesn't bother me 25 days out of the month. I'm like 11 or 12 days out of the month. But the hiccups, again, I've had Gatorade and yogurt. I don't get it. But there are people every day that are in what I'm, the worst pain, like I was in last week with the mastoiditis, and then the flare happened, and then I was swollen and 2 black eyes, and there are people that deal with that every day. And when I have a really bad flare, I think about those people, and I'm like, suck it up, Elizabeth. These people deal with this every day, and you only hit it ever so often. I have problems every day, but I don't have the massive pain issues they have every day. So I'm like, suck it up, buttercup, just deal with it. And that's when I listen to a lot of music, reach out to my friends. I'll call Phoebe. I'll Facebook call Phoebe and talk to Phoebe. I do a lot of research. I watch a lot of documentaries. And y'all wonder, like, oh, she knows so much. She's so smart. It's because half the time my fat butt is stuck in the bed with my feet above my heart in a flare, and I'm stuck. So I might as well watch something that's going to put wrinkles in my brain. So that's why I know and read so much, is because that's all I can do some days. And so I refuse to watch stupid content. I watch educational content. Oh, and if anyone's wondering, we'll end this out. It's 10:51. I need to shut up. But if anyone's wondering, the Synergy channel on Odyssey is no more. Well, let's just talk about that for a minute. So there's this beautiful person with a beautiful heart and a beautiful mind and a beautiful soul who opened up her entire life and existence and knowledge base to help you. And I'm saying you just as like the general population that visited her channel. I'm not like you. And she was berated and demanded to be an organ grinder's monkey. Like, people said that, just because she was giving information and giving research points and telling people, go look into this, they didn't want to be told what to read. They wanted to be told how to fix it. Well, sometimes you have to do your own research to figure out how to fix your own goddamn problem. Sometimes the zit is on your ass and not somebody else's. So she became a target because everybody wanted to fix the problem. Well, how do I fix the problem? Well, you can't fix the problem. It's called living with and in a world that is not conducive to the human body anymore. And if they wouldn't, oh, well, I'm selling this and it's helping people. And if I need to make money to get this, if you better help me. No. She's not obligated to sell anything from you. She's not obligated to send people to your website. She's not obligated to say anything about you. Nothing. I know I'm going for my second win. This made me mad. And whatever happened, all I know is I got a message that said, I took my channel down. I don't want you don't have to mention my name. I don't want the mud to splatter onto you. We'll talk later. I'm happy for the mud from that woman to splatter onto me, because that woman is the smartest woman I've ever met. She has helped me heal a lot of my body and a lot of my issues, and taught me a lot of things I didn't know about the data world and the analytical world, and some other stuff that I didn't know. She's just a beautiful person. And I don't know whatever sack of sorry piece of crap pushed her to the limit, but whoever you are, you pretty much damned the whole world. Because she was literally the only ray of light, trying to honestly, openly give people research avenues without trying to get coffee, make a buck, give me a super chat, pay for this. She didn't want your money. She just wanted to give you information. But because now we are in this world where, but we bond with super chats. We bond with buying you coffee. I'm a better fan because I've got a green dot by my... She didn't want any of that. So... But they knew if she switched that she would overwhelm and overtake everybody. So they just berated her and dogged her. And I told her, I said, it sucks to be as smart as you, because half the people want to be you and half the people want to do away with you. I said, because you either make people feel very enlightened and hopeful or very, very stupid. And so you have no ambiguity in there. You have a love or hate with people that run into you. I've known her personally now for a few years. She's stayed in my home. She's visited me several times. She's brought me gemstones and crystals and literature on Chinese Eastern medicine and how to help me, and educated me for nothing. She's never asked for a thing. She just shows up, and she stayed in the motel down the road for a long time until I finally talked her to staying with me. And I don't know what you thought she was, but let me tell you what she was. She was a beautiful woman with the biggest heart I've ever seen and the biggest brain I've ever met, who could compost 10 times the information I can in 5 seconds. She listened to everything on 2 or 3 times the speed. And I could do that where I did transcription, but she could really keep up with it. Like, she wasn't just following the word, she was composting the information. She researched for 7 to 8 hours a day to be able to bring you the best knowledge for you to then go and research. And I can't for the life of me think why you thought somebody that wants to sell you an item that doesn't work, or wants you to buy them coffee so that they can get rich off telling you things that she was telling you for free. I don't know why you would make that choice. I'm just going to say stupid human behavior. But whoever pushed her over the line to erase all of that, you did the world an injustice. And karma will be a big one. Because that woman is a freaking walking miracle from God. To have gone what she's been through and to still have the hope and joy that she has and the desire to help people understand what's going on. Not cool. If you want to dog my name, dog it. That's my best friend. I've got a group of about 4 people that I will literally lay down in the middle of the road and die for. And she's one of them. And I just, She was like, I'm afraid they'll come at you. Come at me. It won't be fun. But you screwed society. So I'm going to try to fill the void and patch through some information, but I can't bring the content she did. I can't bring the quality, and I certainly can't bring the amount of research. My brain can't do. Her brain it's different. So if you watched her on the Synergy channel on Odyssey platform, she's not there anymore. And it was because of stupid humans and stupid human behavior and egos and arrogance and jealousy and envy. And people that think they have a brain, but really all they have is this void in their life to devour anyone else that has any kind of skills or smart sets. It irritates me. It irritates me. Yeah, everybody wants money. And for some reason, people think they bond with creators more that, when I give them money, I feel I'm special. No, the only people I've given money, my butt. The only people I've given money is Ryan Hall, y'all, who is a meteorologist from the area. And he will literally tell us when there are storms in the area. And I'm like, boom, buddy. And Nate Snyder, who does weather. And he has several times when I popped up and been like, hey, is that tornado dropping on my area? And he'll be like, I'll tell him where I am, and he's like, oh, no, it's north. It's going to go northeast. You're south. You're safe. And, buddy, I've given him $10 because the radio wasn't telling me. We got no meteorologists that care about this place. The radar is so far away, it fuzzes, so we can't get a good picture, and I rely on those 2. And I'm like, I'll give you, you save my butt. I'll give you a couple bucks. I don't understand why people think that they bond with people or that it's got to be better if it costs more. No, hey, take free information and take it. When you're taking information that is so critical and can be so manipulative, it's better to take it from somebody who wants nothing, because then they're just giving you the information to research. So the world got a little bit darker yesterday because the light that's been shining for everybody got extinguished. And I don't know exactly what happened. I'm going to give her a few days to compost it, and then we'll talk about it, I'm sure. But she doesn't want, she's like, I don't want the mud to hit on you. I don't care. I don't care. I will tell you right now, she is my best friend. She is somebody that I trust with my life. She is somebody that I want in my life. I want her information. I want her brain working for me. I can't believe anyone would say, no, I don't want your brain working for me. But I mean, if you'd rather be stupid and have coffee, but y'all did a horrible, horrible thing. Yeah, a lot of it's jealousy. A lot of it's jealousy. They see somebody that's smart and they're like, but I wanted to do that. I wanted to be number one. Listen, I'll follow anybody that's got a better idea than me. But if you don't got a better idea, I'll raise my hand and go, excuse me. And that's the way I think that the world should function. But we live in a world where egos and arrogance and jealousy and envy and dopamine dictate what we think is right and wrong instead of lived and learned behaviors. Y'all shot yourself in the foot with that one, though, because, I mean, I'm still going to get the information, okay, because she's still my best friend, and I still love her, and I don't care what happened. If you think you can run my name through the dirt, go right ahead. My background is a clear piece of paper. I got nothing. But you go right ahead. But I'm here to tell you, you shot yourself in the foot with that one, because that woman's brain, possibly the smartest person I've ever met or read about in my life. And if you haven't been able to have a personal encounter with her, you might not understand that. She is not always the angry person that's mad at what's going on. She's a very sweet, soft, kind, loving person. And it would bother when people pick on me. Well, they're saying horrible things about you. Well, horrible people say horrible things. That's where the brains go. Hateful people say hateful things. Nice people say nice things. That's how you kind of shake out the chaff from the wheat, you know. But it hurt her. I was like, it doesn't hurt me. Don't worry about me. And she couldn't understand when she was just giving information for people to research why they would get emotionally charged about it. Laziness, because you told them they didn't know. Indifference, because they don't care what's going to happen to the world. Probably a little bit of, what is it? Self-denial, because they don't think it's going to happen, but they think if they don't know about it, it won't, you know. But, you know, there's so many types of people in the world that do stupid things. And like they wanted me, somebody said, you didn't have to do that, don't you, God, at A commercial. It would have hit much better if you hadn't done that. Well, shut your mouth. This is my channel. If you don't like it, hit the high road. But I like to use humor. And if I see you trailing something that dog ain't going to hunt, and I know you made a fool of yourself, I'm going to bring it up 10,000 times over the next year. Because I'm going to remind you that when you tried to attack me one time, it didn't work, and you better not do it again. But it's sad. It's sad. It's really, Gypsy knows how I am. I'm a dog with a bone. Don't do it. I will sit here and think about ways to just make you look stupid. But I just can't believe. So I don't know exactly what happened, but we were like getting into some of the meat of the issue. She just had, she had just interviewed her husband, who does a lot of bigwig internet work and data and customer service, and was starting to see behaviors change and emotional attachments to these things change. Like I'm saying, this is just a little square. Go and get in communities and support groups where you can touch, hold people, interact, energetically switch You know, that's what you need. This is just a poor secondary replacement. But we were just starting to talk about the real meat of the matter, which is how they're changing us to act more like these things and to respond more like these things, and to think that nobody's real and everybody's just a screen print and we can treat anybody how we want to. And the only emotions that count are mine because everybody else is in this thing. No, honey, everybody else is a real person. Pull your head out your hind end and go out into the real world and meet people, talk to people, make friends, shake hands, have dinner, have brunches, have chats, read a book, write the author and thank them for teaching you something. You know, it's just nobody interacts this way anymore. And if you think segregation back in the 50s was bad, it's way worse right now. What are they segregating us from? Each other. We're more comfortable going on a platform where 99% of us get to stay anonymous. We just get to pick on the one person brave enough to put their face up there. And what do? We hate them and we yell at them and we say nasty things because we don't know how to be polite anymore. Because we don't talk to people on the roads. They might make us sick. We might see something we don't need. They might say something we don't know. We don't know them. And then you go home and you try to socialize through here, which treats you nothing about physical ramifications of behavior when you make somebody mad on the street. That energy and that viewpoint and that side, you're going to feel that. So we've detached. We are now segregated from each other emotionally, electrically, physically, biochemically. So think about it for 5 minutes, y'all. They're making us comfortable living in little houses, little tiny boxes, and we only get to talk to each other through here. Now, I wouldn't do this unless I'm disabled. If I can get out of this house, I get out of this house, even if I only get to see coyotes and foxes. I leave my house if I can. If it's possible, I'm going. But other people have grown so accustomed to living in their little tiny houses and living through this right here. And I'm like, dude, that's not what you get your energy swap from. That's not where that's not where you get that heartfelt love and that boost, that frequency boost, that energy boost. That's the real thing. This is just, it's like fake fur. It's going to fall apart as soon as it gets wet. But it bothers me so much because I'm like, well, you screwed society over because we had probably about 1 million people a month getting information and researching and going and researching different tiers to feed back information. Now we don't have that. So I'd like to personally thank you for screwing the world up because you were such a dip doodle you couldn't handle somebody smart. You can handle a different way to think, a different way to view things, a different way to react, a different way to take a problem apart, a different way to solve a problem, a different way to look at a problem, a different way to behave. So it's just like, so I'll bring what information I can, but I am no replacement for her. No. I mean, she's like a jet fuel engine, and I'm like a Hyundai with one good spark plug. Okay? But I'll do what I can. Yeah. I'm hoping that she gets brave and comes back, and I'm hoping she tells me exactly what happened. But, to the person out there that thought they needed to bring this, whoever tipped the straw on the camel's back, dude, you suck. Like G-force. And it's just because you can't handle something doesn't mean you should take it away from other people that can. I'm kind of that, as long as you're doing something of free will and you're not hurting somebody else doing it, I don't care. The final consequences between you and God. But when you go after people and you're vindictive and mean, karma, it'll get you. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, she got hurt really bad. So, y'all, keep her in your thoughts, prayers, because I'm just irritated. I'm irritated that somebody or a group of somebodies would be that stupid. And, it's not like they haven't tried to do this before. They, they try to smear her name or say she's getting money somewhere else and knowing her as long as I have. No, she's not. No, she's not. When she stays here, we both like half the groceries. We both cook. We both do dishes. We both clean the house. She doesn't ask for anything. You know, but people will say anything for power. People will say anything for a following. People will say anything for more clicks, more likes, more revenue, more video views. So be careful who you give your energy to. I think that's how I started this whole channel. Be careful who you give your energy to. Be careful who you befriend, because they, sadly, as kind as humans can be, that's also as mean as they can be. Supervised murderers, I know that. So just be careful and toss some prayers up for her, because I don't know what happened, but I know it must have been a doozy, and anyone to attack that beautiful light and that beautiful soul gotta be a straight up demon. So don't know what you think about yourself, but I think whoever you are, you're pretty sorry. Lower, no worms. What is this? Worms belly in a wagon rut. That's it. So keep her in your prayers. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. I've talked for way too long. Good thing is I'm building my wind back up and my stamina to do this thing. So, and I braided my hair. My hands are working good. And I did more today than I've done in 3 weeks, even though I had a really good nap in the middle. So we're getting back to it. And let me see. I'm going to finish Dreamcatcher tomorrow. Let me see if I can find some skulls. We're either going to do a lantern or a shadow box and finish Dreamcatchers. And then it's deer jaw time, because I've got to knock out what I've got here that I've got everything to do it with right now. And then I'll get to the bigger stuff that I've got in my imagination that I haven't got solidified to put together yet. So that's what we'll be doing the next couple days. I'm going to go to bed. Well, I'm going to wait for David. He's about 20 minutes away. Then I'm going to go to bed. But I will see y'all tomorrow. Go watch the 40-something minute video that I edited this morning. Oh, dear Jesus, it took forever. Yes, I talk a lot. I never shut up. But it is it's a good view of what David does, because when he videos, all you see is the ground and him talking about the trap he just set. So it's a little bit more of an idea of what he's going and doing. Now, when he's got me with him, he can only do the snares that are close to the road where I can video. He's got snares that he walks 1.5 mile, 2 mile loop to check. So he's way back in the boondocks most of the time. But when I go with him, he does it like that. So make sure to keep him in your prayers. Your B-Day is in June. That's when Haley's B-Day is. I'll try to remember that. Okay, guys, I'm going to shut up. Timu Hall and a bunch of information. I will see you tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. Send up some good vibes for Sabrina and for David's elbow. Appreciations. We're waiting on Mary's package to come in for the collab I did with Retail Therapy on a Budget. We'll do that. And I just want to get back into my crafting routine and get back to crafting and doing stuff every night. So when we do that, my camera will be, I've got one of those things that be tilted down, so I won't be talking a whole lot. You'll be watching me craft. I'll only be checking in about every 10 minutes. So if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to join in and watch. But just warning you, I won't be able to see the screen all the time. So only be checking in about every 10 minutes or so. So here we go, crafting again. But I ain't making no gnomes. Don't even ask. I refuse until fall to make a gnome. Refuse. Okay, I'll talk to you later. I'm going to find me something to nibble on, yogurt. And I'm going to go back to bed. I love yous. It's been a rough couple days. But I'm getting better. Black eye's almost gone. Oscar wants to go outside. How bad? Speak. 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 Oh, that is grunting. That's not speaking. Speak. Speak. Thank you. He's got to go potty. I'll talk to you later. Well, hang on. I got to push a button. You still grunting over there.